Radio 92.3 The Fan. An Odyssey Sports Station.
92.3 The Fan, 2020 Sports.
Guardians rookie Cooper Ingle with a brain cramp in the top of the seventh last night after catching a fly ball. Thought it was the third out. Tossed the ball in the stands. It wasn't. It allowed the Rangers to plate the go-ahead run. Texas goes on to win 4-2. Skipper Stephen Vogt, what he said to Ingle after that play.
I just said, hey, flush it. Go get a hit for us. It's a mistake. Lost track of the outs. Pretty big spot. But we'll learn from it. Can't control it once it happens.
Tanner Bybee taking the loss. He goes 7 innings, allowed just 3 runs, 2 earned on 5 hits. Guardians finished June 10-15. Trail the White Sox now by 2 games in the AL Central. Chicago beat Baltimore last night 9-3. As NBA free agency began last night, the big thing for the Cavaliers could be the potential return of LeBron James. This week, LeBron informed the Lakers he will play elsewhere next season. LeBron spending 8 seasons in Los Angeles, won a title with the team back in 2020. If LeBron does come back to Cleveland, it will be his 3rd stint with the Cavs. Now, reports say free agent Dean Wade leaving the Cavaliers for the Philadelphia 76ers. Word is Wade gets a 4-year contract, $39 million. Wade had been with the Cavs since 2019. Meanwhile, reports also say Keon Ellis leaving Cleveland thanks to a 2-year deal, $18 million from the Brooklyn Nets. Ellis came to the Cavs in that deal with Sacramento just prior to the trade deadline in February. Mary Kay Cabot at Cleveland.com reports that Deshaun Watson back in Berea this week, working out at the Browns complex. He's working out with his private physical therapist and his personal quarterbacks coach. Watson battling Shedeur Sanders, be the Browns' starting QB this coming season. Watson also does plan to have a passing camp with some of his teammates in mid-July down in Florida. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Summer's here, and Browns training camp is just around the corner. Stay locked in with The Fan all summer long. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
We don't know where he's going. We don't know whether he's chasing a ring. That's number one. Number two, all the teams he's played with, he's delivered a ring. He's delivered a ring to all the places he's played with, and all the places he's played with are going to retire his number. So again, I say to you, how's that for a legacy?
Right.
I mean, what do you want?
It's the defense, because it's the defense in transition. You lost the greatest defensive player in the history of football when Myles Garrett was traded. You brought in Verse, and he's going to be a great player for us, but he's not going to be Myles Garrett. Additionally, you got a new defensive coordinator. You got a lot of young, talented players, but the real challenge is he's an offensive head coach, and I think he's going to do a good job. He's old school, he's demanding, he's hands-on, detail-oriented.
When I threw the ball out and I hear a bunch of yelling, and it happens sometimes. Just got to learn from it and not make the same mistake.
The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. This is Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
I'm going to get to the stupid Cooper Ingle thing coming up at 6:45. I didn't defend him yesterday, but I got hammered for going, it was like he did it on purpose, guys. So we'll talk about that at 6:40.
You can't give away a souevir these days without them jumping all over you.
That at 6:40. I felt bad for him. I felt bad for Trevor Bauer. I felt bad for Tanner Bybee. I felt real bad for Tanner Bybee. It's terrible. A terrible mistake. But we'll talk about that coming up at 6:40 because I got smoked online for it. So, and I knew I would. But all right, are you starting to feel like LeBron's coming back?
I have tried my best to not get carried away.
Damn it! Were you doing the thing where you are trying to? See, you talked me into it.
I know.
You talked me into not being excited.
And then there was like a 2-hour window yesterday where it seemed like, oh, he's definitely coming to Cleveland. And then, you got a little further away, walked away, and went into the night, and you're just like, all right, well, LeBron's going to get his week plus of speculation. I guess he deserves it, right? I know some people are like, I'm sick of this stuff. It's like, I don't know. He was with the Lakers for 8 years. I know a couple times there were some flirtations, but he's been with the Lakers so long. Like, yeah, he gets to do this on his terms, right? This was his league for many years. For how many Hall of Fame careers? I think Tom Haberstroh said he'll be working on his 5th Hall of Fame career. Like, this has been such an amazing career.
He's been great.
And the difference between this and the other times is the league is not really waiting for LeBron. Yeah, there are a few teams that are kind of waiting, but it's not like he's holding up business for the whole league where it's obnoxious. I'd argue there was the bigger holdup was Giannis, but the behind the scenes stuff. It was everybody waiting to see where Giannis would end up. With LeBron, yeah, there's a few teams involved. I mean, Golden State, the Cavs, the Heat, and I even heard the Wiz. Kenny, nobody beats the Wiz.
The Wizards?
Yeah, it was a big clutch thing because, the clients, the Rich Paul clients were all in Washington. I'm just saying, like, there aren't a whole bunch of teams involved.
Watch them go
in
there,
this.
and you're going to, it's going to be the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I gave you that look for the people who was watching on YouTube Live. The Wizards, I guess, like, he wants to see everything there. There's one thing he's doing that is going to really bother me if he doesn't come here, and I'll get to that here in a second. There's two places that do make, I guess the Heat makes sense too. I mean, they're kind of a third candidate in there, third possibility. He said he was going to take offers from basically every team that was interested in the league. I think every team, you got to make a call. It's part of your job.
Yeah, Windhorst brought up the Nuggets too, but it just seemed like it really boiled down to Golden State.
If he's willing to go to Golden State, doesn't that mean he might be willing to go just about anywhere? I mean, seriously. Like, if Golden State is the odds-on favorite right now, and they are, according to Vegas, then shouldn't that be a signal to everybody he's willing to just go anywhere and none of this matters? None of the legacy stuff we make a big deal about. Like, I had people go, it's going to kill his legacy. I'm like, not really. I used to think so. 20 years from now, I don't think we're going to be saying nasty things about LeBron if he ends up in Golden State or wherever. I don't know if that matters. So I think he's willing to I think he's willing to hear offers from just about everywhere. I wonder if he's willing to hear offers from the Clippers. Like, we've been told for 20-plus years now, absolutely not a chance. He'd never play for the Clippers. Well, Steve Ballmer is certainly different than Donald Sterling, that's for sure. Now, the Clippers have liquidated assets. Kawhi Leonard demanded to play for the Toronto Raptors, which, yes, everybody has their FBI jokes, which is like, well, he still is going to play 40-plus games in the States.
Yeah,
so I guess
have their opportunity.
I guess they could wait on him in the airport if they really want to. But for Kawhi, okay, that sounds like a nice thing. You can go up there. They seem to leave him alone, and they're nice to him. And, okay, good. Congratulations. So I think everybody's on the table. I really do. If you're willing to stare the history right in the face and say, doesn't matter, I'm going to do what's best for now and for the future, and go to Golden State, fine. Denver, make the call. Portland, who it seems like their owner wants them out of there on the first thing smoking, make the call. Kings, make the call. Everybody you would never think, make the call. Go ahead and make the call.
Well, what throws a wrench in all of this is he's still really good.
Yeah,
it'd be one thing if
he was just at the end of the at the end of the roster.
Yeah, and
the end of the bench. No,
if it was like the Kobe situation after the surgery, like LeBron is still looking insanely in shape. He's ripped. He had an incredible series against Houston where he was the best player in that series. Like, that's just ridiculous at his age to be able to do that. So that's what kind of muddies this a little bit. Is he is so damn good, and it's tough. Where does he fit in the confines? Because he wants to compete for a championship. And I know it's easy to dismiss, wherever he goes, are they really going to have a chance to win a championship? But we just saw the Knicks win a championship, a team that nobody thought was going to be able to win the championship. We've had 8 winners in 8 years. Like, you don't think in LeBron's mind he thinks he could win a championship
go out there and be
somewhere?
the ninth winner in 9 years. Yeah. I think that he believes it's on the table. I think that anybody who calls believes it's on the table. I think that they look at him as he might be the final piece. Now, there are hoops that you have to jump through, but I also think that there's some of these moves that the Cavs are making. And by the way, I didn't mean this as a knock on Chris Haynes yesterday because it's his job. Somebody has to report it. But anybody saying, well, the Cavs are interested in LeBron. Well, they couldn't say that when he was a member of the Lakers because that's tampering, quote unquote. But now you could say it, and obviously everybody's interested in LeBron, and certainly the Cavs are interested in LeBron. Saying you're interested in LeBron is like saying you need air to breathe. You need the sky. You hope that the sun rises in the morning. Yeah, we all do. Like, that's kind of the way it goes in the NBA with LeBron James, because there's obviously a lot more to the money that's made to it for a franchise. But any team that wants to do something, you consider him. And the tea leaves are there. Like Keon Ellis, There were a lot more people upset about Keon Ellis leaving than I thought. A lot more people sad, it seemed, that Keon Ellis was leaving. Dean Wade overnight, that was almost celebrated from what I woke up to. But
even though it's funny, this is how it works sometimes in sports. Like, Wade was the one that earned big-time playoff minutes for a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Keon Ellis was not part of the rotation. No. So it's funny that you saw that reaction. Why are we in mourning about the guy that couldn't crack the rotation?
You made a trade during the season to bring in Keon Ellis. Then Keon Ellis is gone halfway through. And so it's we didn't even get to see really Keon Ellis because he was hidden on the bench during the postseason where Dean Wade had to go out there and contribute significant minutes. And he's not a scorer, but he is a defender, and they'll miss that defense. But when you move on from Dean Wade, how can a fan not start to think they're making moves to try to see if they can bring this guy in and bring him back and have the whole history back again? Which
the interesting thing is
you can't fault them for doing it.
They could have found a way to retain either. The fact that they let both of them go, it got a lot of people speculating that much more that, they have something in the mix here. As quiet as they were for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, now it gets interesting. Kobe Altman has been a bit of a creative thinker on the fly. He's had to do that in the past.
How do you think they protect themselves if he decides to play elsewhere? Because I think that these moves are being made to make space for him and to try to create something that would bring him in. And that can be a great plan for everybody. However, he is his own man. He's a sentient being. What if he decides that he wants to play at Golden State or he wants to play in Miami? What do you do then if you're the Cavs? Because this is still supposed to be a competitive basketball team.
Yeah, well, a lot of it
and
just
Dean Wade is a little more. I think Dean Wade, he's not the cog that changes everything, but I think he is a little bit more important than we want to realize because he's the only one who seems to play defense.
For him. He was a starter.
That's what I mean. Somebody had to play the defense, and you have Evan Mobley who will play the defense, and then you had Dean Wade out there on the perimeter as a wing who could play the defense. Well, now he's no longer there anymore. And hey, if you get LeBron and there's other moves that might need to be made, it makes sense. But if you don't get LeBron, now I got to figure out what I'm going to do without him.
Well, how interested were you in the stories or reporting that was done yesterday that James Harden, the reason we don't have the restructuring of his new deal after he tore up the player option, how interesting is that to Cavs fans that we haven't had any numbers divulged? And it's leading many to believe that it's all with James doing everything he can to facilitate another big move or two for the Cavaliers.
Well, I think that all that stuff is in play. And that would be for a guy who's seen as selfish, for a guy who's seen as he's going to do his own thing, mercurial. That would be a hell of a team move. Brian Windhorst kind of threw that about on ESPN yesterday. Here's Brian Windhorst, local guy, on ESPN on NBA. I think it was NBA. Was it NBA Live or Inside the NBA? Here's Brian Windhorst on one of their NBA shows on ESPN mentioning James Harden, kind of helping the Cavs look into Jaylen Brown and LeBron James. Hit it.
The league changed this afternoon with LeBron coming on the market, and not only that, but basically announcing that he's available to just about everybody. And so start your engines on how you're going to retrofit. That is a curveball that affected the whole market. So now let's talk about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has not found a home. The Celtics have not found a home. After they tried to send him to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo over the last week, they have talked to a number of other teams. They have failed to get traction on a deal. Cleveland Cavaliers learned today that LeBron James will be willing to play for less than his market value salary. That changed everything. So how does Cleveland get LeBron James' attention? Do they show him their beautiful brand new practice facility they're building? It is awesome. I saw it this week in Cleveland. But that is not going to impress them. What's going to impress them is what they do something with their roster. What can the Cavs do? James Harden opted out yesterday. He is willing to partner with the Cavs to figure out a way how to improve the roster. Jaylen Brown is out there. Can the Cavs make a move for Jaylen Brown? Then come to LeBron and say, how do you feel about us now? That's the type of move that you're going to do to get LeBron James' attention.
So you're throwing a lot of trust into people that you don't always trust. I mean, James Harden is a person that no fans trust as far as they can throw him. And you're hearing that about James Harden. There's a lot of things that can click into place because one of the things that I could think about here, if we're saying doomsday scenarios here, I'm not trying to scare everybody, but you have to take this into account. He could say, yeah, I'm willing to restructure all this and take this pay cut in order to bring in LeBron. If LeBron doesn't choose the Cavs, then what's James going to do? Now, I don't know what agreements have been put in place. Maybe there is a legal agreement that if James were to walk away from something here, there's a penalty of some sort. I have no idea. It just seems to be, hey, we're in all good faith here. And yeah, I know Carlos Boozer's history is out there. I get it. But we're all working in good faith here that we're going to do this and we're possibly going to bring in LeBron. To me, that means that Donovan Mitchell's history or future here is solidified. It means that there's a sincere possibility you can get Jaylen Brown here. It also means that Evan Mobley's days may very well be numbered. This is an organization that loves Evan Mobley. I have heard several times over the last few weeks, forget it. They are not moving on from Evan Mobley whatsoever. That has been said to us, and you've gotten the same text. They are not moving on from Evan Mobley. You are wasting your breath. But when it comes to LeBron, and now this guy saying it, what have we learned with the whole Myles Garrett thing? What have we learned in 15 years on the Fan? Everything's not true until it's true. Everything's true until it's not true.
It's also very different from what happened with Jaylen Brown. Obviously, if you have a chance to get Giannis, you're going to float somebody like that's going to be obvious who they were going to be giving up. The Cavs have been completely the opposite. They have not allowed Evan Mobley's name to really come out there outside of just sports talk speculation. Nothing is attributed. And you're right. Like right now, the belief around the league seems to have been that, no, the Cavs are the staunchest supporters of Evan Mobley. But it also makes you think because one thing is undeniable. Jaylen Brown is better than Evan Mobley right now. That is undeniable.
I'm willing to bet that I don't think it's going to happen today. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow. I think it might. These things tend to happen. When did it happen when he came back in 2014? I remember it was a Sunday night when he left. When he left, it was a Sunday night. I think a lot of things are about to happen very, very quickly. If he comes here, it will be LeBron James is going to the Cavs. James Harden has restructured his contract, and Evan Mobley's being traded to the Boston Celtics for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I remember it was the Jarrett.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it was the Jarrett Jack move that precipitated everything.
That's
it was
right.
It was like reading the tea. Why would they do that? Why would they? That makes no sense. And then it all came into play very, very quickly after that.
All right. Have you talked yourself? Are you starting to feel like LeBron is coming back? 216-474-0092. Lima, are you there yet?
I'm trying.
You're closer than where you were.
But you can hear me. I'm trying not to commit. I'm trying not to allow my head because then come the emotions of if it doesn't happen. Am I going to fly off the handle? Am I not going to watch the Cavs this year? I'm doing everything I can right now to closely guard my feelings.
216-474-0092. There's also one thing that LeBron is doing that kind of bothers me. And can I do a quick power ranking? But there's like 8 people in it.
I love
when we come back.
The more the merrier.
Because legacy is being defined here by the moment, the more we talk about LeBron James. All that and what's best for Shador coming up a little bit later on in the Fan. 216-474-0092. Are you starting to feel like LeBron is, in fact, coming back? Do you want him to come back? Ken Carman, Anthony Lyman, take us with you to work on that free Odyssey app.
Don't let
tires, brakes, alignments, or routine maintenance, their team has you covered. Great brands, trusted service, and convenient locations. Book your appointment today at ConsumerTire.com. Your local tire and auto service experts.
July could make or break the Guardians season. Talk about the Guardians anytime you want. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
$8:20 this morning. Joe Varden going to join us on the show. So you're starting to feel like LeBron is coming back. 216-474-0092. There's one thing he's doing that bothers me. I'll get to that here in a second. Can I do a quick... We usually do 3 for the power ranking, so you don't even have to hit the music. But can I do a quick ranking? There was a lot of stuff on ESPN. Kayla's upset she can't hit the music. I'm sorry, Kayla, but it's going to be more than 3, and you'll find out here in a second why. I turned at the ESPN. There was a lot of legacy with the Lakers conversation. And so many people, I think, were just like, it was a business partnership. The Lakers fans never really embraced him. He never really embraced the Lakers, being a Laker, the history of the Lakers. It was just, hey, I'm here. This is where my business interests are. I'm going to play basketball here. They won a championship, but it was the bubble championship. So, hey, championships are championships. They're all big deals. Like, I'm not going to call it a participation trophy like that one goofball did a couple weeks ago.
Vinny Goodwill, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he called it, a participation trophy, and I think Frank Isola was going to go hit him, which I got to tell you, I might have been close myself if I was him. So I'm not going to call it that, but not all championships are equal. The 2016 championship is way up here compared to the 2020 bubble championship. It just is. I'm glad we will not have to share him with the Lakers. We will not have to share. We have to share him with the Miami Heat. I said it's like a dad who your parents break up and he starts another family and now you got half brothers. It's like, all right, I'm going to see that side of the family. That's how it goes. But I actually ranked where he is with where I think he sits with Laker fans.
Let's have it. Do we have the power rank?
I'm going to because it's longer than 3.
Too long. Yeah.
It's too long. Fine, just hit the damn music if you want to. You're going to have plenty of time over there. All right, where does LeBron rank with the Lakers now that his history is over? In any order you can do, I made him in tiers, actually. Top 4. Kareem, Wilt, Magic, Kobe. He is not in that category. Those 4 guys, they are a cut above the rest. All right? Actually, I got to add another one here.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Do you put Kobe at number 1? I just put him in a tier. You can go ahead and
Magic,
do it.
yeah.
Kareem, Wilt, Magic, Kobe. Yeah. Okay. Jerry West, Shaq, Jerry Buss.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I'm not thinking just players. I'm thinking all-time figures. Like, Magic is more than just a basketball player to Laker fans. So, Kareem, Wilt, Magic, Kobe, Jerry West, Shaq, Jerry Buss. There's one more before LeBron. Chick Hearn.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jimmy Goldstein.
No. He is behind LeBron. Like Michael Cooper, great player. James Worthy, great player. There's other guys that are great players. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 9th. He's 9th on the all-time list. I'm not trying to be mean-spirited. I'm trying to accurately...
And yet he's probably the best guy who's ever played basketball.
Exactly. But I'm just trying to accurately look, because there's... You know this. We had the conversation about Miles and Jose. There is a difference between really, really good and respected and then beloved. LeBron's respected. Miles is respected. Jose's beloved. And in this city, LeBron's number 1. LeBron is beloved in this city for 80% of the fans. I know my mentions kind of went crazy yesterday. But do you think it, like, okay, fine, if you wanted to fight me on Chick Hearn and Jerry Buss, I think I could give you a good fight back.
I mean, look, both of them...
The Lakers aren't the Lakers without Jerry Buss. Chick Hearn was the golden voice of that organization for 50 years.
I think they both got what they wanted out of that whole arrangement.
And that's not what it means like to be, that's not what it's like to be a Laker. Like, it is a commitment to their whole aura of what they do out there. And I think Kareem, Wilt, Magic, Kobe, and I know Kareem and Wilt did not start their careers with the Lakers. Jerry West it personifies that. I know Shaq won a championship with Miami. I understand that. I still think Shaq is, if not for Shaq, is Kobe. Does Kobe get the rings?
Right. Yeah.
If it weren't for Shaq, I mean,
it allowed him to win at an insanely early time.
And I mean, the other two, I think, just hold soft spots in Laker fans' heart. I mean, I'm sure, Dr. Buss wasn't always beloved by Laker fans, but people like an owner after he passes away. And Buss was a big deal, man.
Throughout all of this, I keep trying to, and I told you, a lot of it is preventing myself from going all in like I did, last time we went through this. It was all in. It was like, well, if not LeBron, then what are the Cavs? Like, what will they be? If we wouldn't have gotten LeBron, if he wouldn't have come back from Miami, what would the Cavs organization be? Would it have been a decade of futility? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, you can only throw money at the problem so much, like as the Browns have found out, that we needed LeBron to come back in not just to win a championship. You needed him to come back to be a normal basketball team again. And we got a ton out of it. And then he left, and we were able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals without him.
The Cavaliers,
but you guys all know what it felt like.
Yeah, and there's a clear difference here. I mean, Joey's 23 years old. John, no offense to John, he's from Philadelphia. He doesn't get it the way that a Clevelander would. Joey's from here. Joey's 23. For guys, you're at 45, I'm 40. For guys our age, we know an era of Cavs basketball that was really, really, really bad. For a guy, Joey, he only knows excellence. He only knows a standard. It might get crazy at times, but there is an expectation that you're going to do everything you can. You're going to empty out every bullet you can to go and get a championship. And it's because of LeBron James. It's because of him. There is a standard of excellence to this team. And frankly, for a younger guy like Joey, who works with us, who's 23 years old, I think that's like our generation. It's Browns, Guardians, Browns, Guardians, Cavs. Like, that's the way it goes. With his generation, it's Cavs. They've done everything they can to win a championship. They always try to do it. They're always trying to win a championship. Like, it is an expectation with a guy Joey's age. Like, there is you always talk about generation gaps. That is the generation gap, and it's because of him. So he's number one here, without a doubt. And there is a beloved nature to him. But when it comes to the Lakers, and I think even in Miami, if I were to go down that list, I bet he's third, maybe he might be number two in Miami for all-time Miami Heat players. But when it comes to Lakers, man, this was a business transaction, and that's where it is. Like, he'll get his number retired because he's one of the greatest basketball players who ever played. But I don't think he gets a statue the way that the other guys do. You know what I mean? If they were naming sections after players, I don't know if he gets a section. I think there's a huge difference there. And I think that's why he had no problem going, okay, I've done what I've done. That's enough.
Yeah, they used each other. Yeah. It's over. What I'm curious is...
Especially after that article came out that Ramona Shelburne wrote this spring.
They kind of took him for granted. All the money that he's been able to bring in, to the Lakers that they've been able to capitalize on. And he probably feels like, just not feeling it from their side. Not feeling like I've been truly appreciated.
And you feel it from this side.
And so, Cleveland, you're always going to feel appreciated. And I've just tried to figure out, like, what would it feel like? What would this last year, or who even knows with LeBron? Maybe it's 2 years. I just can't rule anything out. What would that feel like?
I think he'd like to come back for 2 years.
It's obviously not going to be what it was the last time. Mm-hmm. When that decision happened, he was the center of the sports universe. It's not going to be that. It's a very different time. We know we are going towards the sunset. Like, but we're not fading.
No.
Fading would be if he was hobbling here.
Yeah.
And he was coming off surgery and, oh, man, it was ugly last year. LeBron. No, last time we saw LeBron, he was still a top 20 player in the NBA. Pretty crazy to think about.
You're absolutely right. Now, the one thing that he's doing that kind of bothers me and rubs me the wrong way, all these Instagram stories and all these videos that he's putting out there, like he's in Akron singing about going home, by his pool in his house and bath. Mm-hmm. That whole thing, you keep putting these videos out there, and if you choose to go to Golden State, I'm going to be bothered by it.
Because you're sucking people back in.
You have talked me into, like, Kenny, like, nah. And there's a lot of people who are saying, like, I saw Schwabe yesterday. He was saying, congratulations on the Emmy, by the way, for Mark Schwab. Schwabe said yesterday, he's like, I think he's going to Golden State. And I think a lot of people think he's going to Golden State. And I think that we've also said these things to do the Lima and to protect our excitement from getting out of hand here, Because the last time in 2014, that was such a wild scenario that played out that a lot of us, I don't know if we have the energy for it yet. And we're all in different places in our lives, including LeBron. And I think that when he's doing these things about Cleveland and Northeast Ohio, it gets you excited again. And if he just goes like, yeah, I love home, but I'm going to go to Golden State. I'm like, come on. Why did you get people's excited? I mean, there are people going, Kenny, you're wrong. He's coming home. He is home. There are people like making these arrangements here. I got season ticket holders texting me going, this is going to be amazing. And I'm like, guys,
I woke up this morning, Kenny.
There's no ink on any paper yet, man. You got to be careful. But he's getting people's hopes up.
Somebody tagged both of us that knows Savannah through her company that she had founded in L.A. and said she's taking some time away to potentially travel. Like, they're starting to try and connect the dots again.
Yep. And you got people's excitement going again. And if you get their hopes up and you don't come here, am I going to be a major league bastard to them for the rest of my life? Probably not. But I will admit,
he doesn't owe us this. That is the one thing about this. He does not. He already delivered the championship. He doesn't owe us one last swan song.
But I'm a little annoyed. annoyed.
I'm with you.
If he doesn't come here, the Ohio State cleats, that's different. Ohio State put out the cleats, and of course because he's a major benefactor of the Ohio State University sports programs, but. He's just putting these videos out. I'm like, man, I'm getting these vibes again, and I hope he doesn't decide to go, yeah, I'm going to go to Golden State. Because then it's like, you didn't need to make all those videos if you decided to go to Golden State. You could have taken your time and then still decided to go to Golden State, and everything had to be fine. You didn't have to show videos of you playing golf and hanging out by your pool and singing about going home and all those other things. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to get our feelings going again. 216-474-0092. I'll get to some of you guys coming up. And all right, we're going to get to it. It was stupid, but it wasn't like Cooper Ingle did it on purpose. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, and one of the major bonehead moves of 2026 coming up next on The Fan.
XTENDAV.com. Look, I didn't have a terrible setup in my home for TV.
kind of unfortunate in a lot of different ways, but he thought there was 2 outs already, made the catch, threw the ball into the stands, and that is a 2-base error. And I saw it kind of happen. He starts running in, and everybody started screaming.
So that is as you said,
that's a tough
2-base
one.
error. That was only the second out of the inning.
Yep, that's a tough one. There's no 2 ways about it.
And that just gave Texas a 3-2 lead.
Holy Lord. Audio courtesy of Guardians TV. Bad day for Cooper Ingle.
That's a yikes. Yeah, it's, especially considering how the team has been scuffling. They're trying to do anything they can to stay afloat, post injuries without Jose Ramirez. They're playing these young kids, so many of them, and exciting kids, right?
Ingle, yeah. He was asked about it, and here's what Cooper Ingle had to say about it in compilation. Go ahead.
When I threw the ball out and I hear a bunch of yelling, and happens sometimes. Just got to learn from it and not make the same mistake. Feel terrible. It's a pretty embarrassing feeling, but having a group of guys that, are behind you the whole time definitely helps. Tough situation. Went over and apologized to Bybee. If that didn't happen, he might be able to go further in the game and save the bullpen a little bit. But, things happen, and he had my back, and all other guys in the dugout had my back, so felt good.
I felt bad for Cooper Ingle in that moment. I felt really bad for Tanner Bybee in that moment. Here's what he said after the mishap with Cooper Ingle tossing the ball. He thought it was the 3rd out. He tossed the ball into the left field stands.
I just told him to tie the game right back up. There's nothing. Obviously, we all make mistakes. Everyone in this locker room has made multiple mistakes in the big leagues, whether you're Khalil or me or Hedgie or Pat or anyone. So it's tough.
Stephen Vogt was asked about the situation. Obviously, he told that he said that Cooper Ingle needs to flush the mistake.
I just said, hey, flush it, go get a hit for us. It's a mistake. Lost track of the outs. Pretty big spot, but we'll learn from it. And you can't control it once it happens.
Now, Stephen, voter, how did the dugout react to Cooper Ingle?
I just want to give a credit to the dugout. Every one of his teammates, when he came back in, same messaging. Make a mistake like that, you don't know how your teammates are going to respond. Obviously, I'm sure Coop's going to beat himself up about it. Those things happen. We learn from it, we flush it, and we move on.
So this is one of these situations where if he does that and they're 4 or 5 games up in the division, they got a comfortable enough lead in the division, they're on a 5-game winning streak or something, I think people kind of not laugh about it, but they kind of are okay with it. And it's a bonehead thing that happens. It's tough. Because they've been scuffling, because they're in a dogfight in the division now with a team that we've been making fun of over the last 2 years. They have been a butt of jokes for everybody in sports over the last couple of years. Now that you're in that dogfight with them, people were very upset last night. And I said, I go, well, it wasn't like he did it on purpose. He's been in the league. If it were... seriously, if it were a Marty Cordova situation or something like that, I'm just thinking about guys who did silly things, like when he fell asleep in the tanning bed and things like that. It's like, what are you doing? You've been in the league for a long time. Come on. He's not an outfielder by trade, Tone, and he just had a brain fart. Just had a brain fart. So I didn't think that... there were people saying to bench him. I'm not going to bench him over that. It was a dumb thing. He knows it's a dumb thing. Do I need to punish him publicly and rub his nose in it?
That's what I want to know, because I saw, obviously, when you give up a lead on something like that and, you squander, everybody was talking about, could Bybee have gone further along? Did it change? Obviously they went and got a home run afterwards as insurance, but, change the math on the game. And we can't afford a lot of these. With that said, you're playing a bunch of kids and you just saw a kid thing. You just saw a stupid
That's the exact
thing.
way I felt.
Now, I know
we wanted the kids up. We brought the kid up. If it were Stuart Fairchild, there were boos I thought I heard during that clip we played. If it were Stuart Fairchild, people have been losing their minds. But it is Cooper Ingle. He's supposed to be part of the future. I had people in my mentions saying trade him, and I'm like, good God, we got a lot of real Augie Garridos in my mentions right now. And somebody, and I forget who it was, social media reactions on X brought to you by Kayla.
Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Outstanding. I had some people in one person did kind of calm everything down, and he was totally right, and I wish we could give him credit, where they said, hey, man, they've been struggling, and they're mad. Fans are just mad. It's an added on thing and it was stupid. There's no doubt about it. Everybody and their brother, including Cooper Ingle and his family, know that it was a stupid thing to do. But I'm not going to send him to AAA. I'm not going to take away any plate appearances. I'm not going to do that. It was like if he had not ran out a ground ball or something that ended up being an error that could have been 2 or something like that, had he had jogged to a fly ball that he should have caught, had he had played half-ass baseball or anything like that, then yeah, I could see people getting really, really upset. If it were lack of effort, it would be upset. It was a dumb mental mistake. And he's owned up to it. The organization has owned up to it. They're going to pick him up. I don't need any more pound of flesh out of Cooper Ingle because, yeah, I do give him a little bit of leeway because he's only been up here for less than a week.
Well, and the crazy thing is I saw people going after Vogt. Like and talking about what a bad manager he must be to allow this to happen, and I'm like,
what was the reasoning behind that?
This has nothing to do with the manager. What do you think that Guardians don't talk about outs and don't have a way to signal the out situation?
What was the reason?
You think they got to go back to spring training?
They thought he should be.
I have no idea. I just saw people. It's just frustration. It's what it is. It's the venting. That's what people were doing.
Did you ever do this in Little League where you went 2 down, 1 to go?
Yeah,
you ever do that?
Of course.
Okay, should they do that? Was he supposed to do that? I'm serious. Like, they're grown men.
You got to do
it was a stupid thing.
You got to do the girls softball thing where you're doing everything in cadence and chants.
It's always fun to hear those chants. I don't know.
H-O-M-O. It's like,
what would you do? Like, what are you supposed to do other than what they did? It's like, it was so dumb. He knows it's dumb. It wasn't like he stood there and told everybody to kiss his ass. Everybody knows it was stupid. That's the punishment. That's the punishment.
Yeah, humiliation.
The whole stadium in Major League Baseball knowing it was stupid.
Your moment going viral on social media.
That's the punishment. What do you see? Are you seeing something up here?
I want to get to the fans.
All right, let's go to Mike in Cleveland Heights. Here we go. 216-474-0092. Mike in the Heights, you're next up on the fan.
Good morning. I haven't talked to you guys since the card shop.
Oh, hi, Mike.
Anyways,
it's been a while.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
Yep.
Good to hear you.
I got the ballpark pass. I've been going to all these games. First of all, I didn't even know what had happened. Like, I see the guy running around the bases. I'm like, did I miss? Was that a home run? I thought he caught the ball. So I run to the screen, right, because you got to look at the screens. And I thought that he threw the ball into the stands. I've never seen anything like that. And now they're saying, well, Larry Walker did the same thing. Well, Larry Walker's team wasn't a game down in the in the race in the 7th inning of
so what do you want to do to him?
Game.
What do you want to do to him?
Dude, the other thing is you cannot come up, be first week in the MLB, and be styling in some pink Kyrie Irving cleats. Right?
Well, that has nothing to do with it.
And then he struck
would you have called? Well, wait a minute.
This is the thing I would do.
Would you have called in and said these things about the cleats had he not thrown the ball into the stands?
Dude, yeah, it would have been. Dude, this is the thing. Let him get shamed in the dugout by his teammates. Right?
No, that's the last places to be shamed.
Huh? That's why they got rid of Josh Naylor, isn't it? Do you know how many times Josh Naylor bailed out? Wait, can I finish? Josh Naylor bailed out Jose so many times with those picks at first base, right? Am I right? He hit nothing. He was nothing but clutch. I mean, he's a winner, dude. I'm sorry that Bo took Hedges' spot.
First off,
I'm really sorry about that,
buddy.
How'd this become a Naylor call?
Mike, I don't know how this became a Naylor call.
Because wait. Isn't Naylor one of the things was he rubbed his teammates wrong? And you know why he rubbed his teammates wrong? Because he would hold them accountable, dude.
Because he tried too hard.
He would hold them
accountable. What about holding himself accountable for the baby thing? They had to sit there and defend him during the baby thing. When it came to New York, no, they didn't.
They did.
No, they didn't.
Dude,
you are making these things up, Mike.
Ken, didn't you cover a minor league team? Did you cover a minor league team for 140 games?
I did. I was the play-by-play guy. Yes.
Right. So let me tell you something. You don't think that they loved that?
What, the baby thing?
Yeah, against the Yankees.
It's you can't compare. You can't compare. No, Mike, you can't compare Double-A Eastern League baseball to the Yankees and Cleveland Guardians getting ready for a playoff series. And by the way, doing it in the minors for 2 years, I saw that at least 3 times. Hand to God, I saw that at least 3 times.
I've seen it before. Yeah,
in 2 years of minor league baseball play-by-play, I saw that 3 times.
I just don't know how that became a Naylor call.
It's Mike in the Heights, man. It could have went anywhere. He could have turned that into nuclear fission. The last place he should have been shamed was the dugout. because it's one of the worst things that you could do, and everybody hopes it doesn't happen to them, and it happened to him. But the good thing about it, he's early in his career, so hopefully he got the stupidity out of the way. Like, if he does it again in a couple of weeks, like, yeah, it's time to take the gloves off and go, where the hell's your head at, son? But this is a bad moment. It was a dumb moment. We can't underline it enough. And he called it a dumb moment because we all know it was stupid. It's a brain fart. People have brain farts. They do stupid things. It happens. Sometimes you sit at a green light until somebody honks at you. Sometimes you just do something stupid. And he did something stupid, and he paid the fiddler for it, and his teammates picked him up because it's a long season, and he's part of the future of the organization. Coming up in 5 minutes. Actually, there are people who want to get in on this. I'll get to you guys. 216-474-0092. And if you want LeBron back, you're going to have to give up someone big, like a unicorn. That's at 7:02 on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here for the Ohio Turnpike. A better.
on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Your day isn't complete unless you know how Cleveland fits into the national sports scene. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. 92.3 The Fan.
A lot of people want to get in about the Cooper Ingle bonehead move. It's a bonehead move, but it's no reason to send him to AAA. It's no reason to put him on the bench. It's no reason to say that he's a bad baseball player. It was just a dumb move.
Who was the Browns?
It was a brain fart.
Who was the Browns player?
Dwayne Rudd.
No, that was an all-time bonehead move.
Yeah.
Who was the Browns player who jumped off sides? And I just wondered why it didn't lead to
Cam
Justice?
No.
Cam Justice.
Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas, yeah.
Thank you.
And my whole thing.
Boy, I had to go through a lot of bush light in my brain to get that last name.
I felt like it was a team that needed some accountability. We had talked about Stefanski. I don't feel that that's the. First of all, one baseball game very different from giving yourself a chance to win one of 17.
Billy Wynn did it too.
Yeah, he did
by accident. And people were hard on those guys. It's difficult. But you're exactly right. And you won a 17. It's never going to be good. But
I'm always going to overreact a little bit more in the NFL to those things.
1-162 can make a difference. Yes, it can. I'm not saying that not every game is important. They are all important. But there's also every day is important. Every day in life could be the end. Every day in life can be a make or break day for your career, for your life, for your future, for your past, everything. Every day can be an important day. Most days just go by. You wake up, you go to work, go home, and that's the way the day goes. But every day can be an important day. And yesterday ended up being a pretty important day. Had the Guardians been winning 9 in a row at that time, and I think people would be a little bit more understanding if we weren't in a dogfight, like we got that crazy call from Mike in the Heights. Had that not been the same situation, I don't know if Mike calls in and is all upset. But they are scuffling, and you are playing young guys. Had he been a 5-year veteran, I might be feeling a little bit different. I might be a little bit more upset. But he's not. He hasn't even been up here for a week. I felt bad. I'd feel bad if you did it. I'd feel bad if Kayla did it. I'd feel bad if anybody did it. I don't know the guy. He could be an all-time jerk for all I know, but I don't know the guy. So I'm just going to say that right now I feel bad for him.
And
I felt bad for Tanner Bybee. I felt bad for everybody involved.
You guys don't think that Tom Brady forgetting what down it is a way bigger deal than Cooper Ingle throwing the ball into the stands?
I imagine it's happened. It happened.
It happened at the Bucs against the Bears a couple.
So there you
2020.
go. Guys do dumb things. To err is human. It was dumb. It was really, really, really stupid. Had he been defiant about that, had he become indignant with the media over it or indignant with the fans over it, maybe that would be another thing. But he wasn't. He's been contrite. It sucks. It's the way it goes. We all do stupid things. I say something stupid every single day that I basically have to apologize for at the end of the show. And you don't hammer me for it every single day. You keep it in the recesses of your memory to use it against me later.
When it's most advantageous.
And maybe we'll use this against Cooper Ingle. And we'll probably use this against Cooper Ingle later. If he goes out there and he sucks up the room and 2 years from now we're still talking about this guy and whether or not he's going to take off, that will be in the back of everybody's mind. But as of right now, it's no harm, no foul. They lost the baseball game. Tanner Bybee, except for the one pitch he had to Jock Peterson, almost called him Jock Calendar, to Jock Peterson, had a pretty good outing. It didn't go well after that. It sucks. It was a terrible way for the baseball game to kind of come off the rails because then Sean Armstrong went out there and poured gas all over the pitcher's mound and set the whole thing on fire. It was a bad way for them to go about it. But it's forgivable. Hopefully he picks up for it. I was hoping the baseball gods would pick him up in that game.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Ended up being the last out.
But it's a fine line. We don't normally talk about these kind of blunders. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in a game. This is egregious. There's no doubt about this. And I mean, my God, if this were a playoff game in baseball, we'd be having a totally different discussion. And then I don't know if Ken feels so bad about it.
No.
But it's a regular season game that was the last day of the month. At the end of June.
Sucks. It absolutely sucks. Drew in Chicago, you're first up on the Fan. Hello.
Hey, fellas. Look, I don't want to bench the kid. I don't want to trade the kid, but I do want to hold the media a little bit to task.
Let's go.
And the people that cover this team on X, because there's no reason to put excuses on this or try to bait. A lot of guys were asking questions to Vogt and Bybee and even Engel. They were trying to bait these guys to give a poor excuse. Do you think this happened because he was a rookie or because he was playing out of position? Can't we just call a spade here and say this was a boneheaded play that cannot happen at the major league level, and it did happen, so now you got to take a deep breath and learn from it. And here's the issue. When you're one of the worst offenses in the league, your margin for error on defense is slim to none. So when something like this happens, it gets blown up.
So this is weird, Drew. This is weird. Stay with me for a second here. Now, I didn't hear the questions that were asked, okay? But when you said, isn't this, now you said what? The questioning was to the likes of, doesn't this happen to a rookie, or how'd you say that?
There was both times to Vogt and Bybee and Engel. And there was two different people that said, do you think this happened because possibly he was a rookie? Or that he's playing out of position because he's not an outfielder. He's a catcher.
Right. So let me tell you this. Just coming from my point of view, all right, doing that to me is leading an excuse to be made, not to try to make them look worse, to try to give them an out. If they're covering these guys every day and it's not like it used to be where there were 30 writers on the road with a Major League Baseball team. There's probably they're at home, so there's probably a dozen people, okay?
Yeah.
And so there's less, so you get to know these guys pretty closely, and you end up, because you have a relationship with them, only naturally you end up trying to take care of them in a moment like that. So I bet it was quite the opposite. I don't think that they were trying to set them up for bad answers. I think they were trying to guide them along, go, hey, don't we have some understanding here? It was a bonehead move, but it was an honest mistake.
I guess I see your point, Ken, but I just don't see the reason to. I mean, whether Jose Ramirez threw the ball into the stands with 2 outs, or it's Cooper Engel, the bottom line is a spade is a spade. It was a dumb, boneheaded, careless. I mean, I don't know if the heat got to his head. I mean, I've coached kids in Little League, and the first thing you tell you, hey, 2 outs, 1 out, 2 outs, you're screaming at these guys, and they're kids. And this kid's a pro ball player, and at a personal level, I feel bad for him. I feel like you. I feel bad for Tanner Bybee. I feel bad for everything. And like I said earlier, when you don't score any runs, you certainly can't give up a run by just doing something boneheaded like that. But call a spade.
You're right.
It's just a mistake.
But so what do you do? Let me ask you.
Today.
What do you do? Is it surfacing again in a meeting? You're not having a team meeting about this. Like, do you have to have them in the office?
No, go ahead, Drew.
I feel like, if the clubhouse truly rallied around him, that's the way to handle it. And say, look, Cooper Engel, of all people, knows it's a dumb mistake that cannot happen at a big league level. So there's no, like you guys said, there's no need to rub his face in it. But I just don't think that the people, I saw a lot of people on X, well, what do you expect? He's a rookie. And I'm thinking, guys, if Gabriel Arias did this, you'd throw him off the boat. And the bottom line is it's the same thing.
But let me tell you this. If he had, Gabriel Arias has been around for a while. Drew, thank you very much for the call because it was thought-provoking here. Gabby Arias has been around for a couple years now. Gabby Arias has been accused of playing lackluster baseball. Gabby Arias is accused of being the L word. Okay? That's a strong accusation. Because those things have been brought up, had he had done it, yes, it is a different reaction, without a doubt. Plus, everybody wants to see him go down anyway. Everybody wants to see him sent down to AAA anyway. So, yeah, we do pick and choose who we tend to give the pass to. Like, if Jose Ramirez did that some way, somehow, this is not brought up. This is probably even laughed off, even after a loss with things going badly.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right
because he's untouchable, and rightfully so in so many ways. This is a young guy. There's people who are annoyed. Everybody's annoyed. But you give him more leeway because he hadn't been in the big leagues for a week, and you start to try to figure out what reasons why he did it, and you could just look at it and say it was stupid. I had a brain fart. I did something dumb. It's that simple. No excuse for it. I pray to God it never happens again. I'll be paying closer attention in the future. Nothing to laugh at, nothing to make a joke about. They lost the game. Had they won the game, we could all have a laugh over it. They lost the game. You have to remain contrite. He remained that way. He didn't get nasty with anybody over it. That's the way it goes. And then so we try to find reasons why he might have done it. Why would I might have done it? If I were up in the bigs for the first week of my life ever, you always kind of imagine it might be pretty cool. You're out there in left field. You have kids out there yelling for baseballs after every inning. You feel you're going to, you get the out. You're finally going to throw a ball over the net to get it to the kid, and it ends up being 2 outs instead of 3 outs. It's a dumb thing.
Now, let me ask you.
Felt bad.
If you get that ball thrown to you, what do you do? Because we throw home run balls back at the other team.
Nothing you can do. He threw it out there. You just keep the thing.
That's what I'm asking. Or do you are you rubbing his nose in it? If you're a fan that's irate,
well, if
like, why are you throwing hot potato? You take the ball.
No. Well, if you are a 12-year-old kid who got that baseball, that is a story you tell for the rest of your life.
Yes, it is.
Because ultimately, this should be forgotten. So there's like the Jose Canseco thing. That was a hilarious thing. People remember that forever. But there's probably been other scenarios. And everybody has stories about the old days of the old Indians and going to the ballpark and something happening with 5,000 fans there. Now, there's more than 5,000 fans at the ballpark at this one, and there's more at stake because this is a first-place good baseball team. But in 20 years, that kid who's a 30-something-year-old, whoever got the ball, is telling that story forever. Unless maybe Cooper Ingle was throwing it at somebody else, but who knows. Matt in Uniontown, you're next up on the Fan. Go ahead.
Hey, Ken, funny you mentioned the Canseco thing. I actually was at that game, and I've got the ticket stub to prove it. And
he kept the ticket stub from that game. And anytime, so Matt, you have it in your like basement or something, in your den, or your cellar, and you get buddies over. You're like, check it out, I got the ticket stub for when Jose Canseco got hit on the top of the head.
Yes, I have shown it off.
Exactly.
As such. So yeah. So yeah, funny you just mentioned that. But actually, I want to talk who's to blame, and ultimately it goes back to the front office and the construction of the team. I think the last caller hit the nail on the head. The margins of errors are so small for this team because it's built to not score runs and to play guards ball and all that good stuff. There's no margin for error for anything. If they were up 5-1 yesterday and that happened and ended up winning the game, they would have laughed it off afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just because the way this team is constructed. I was at the playoff game last year, Game 1, Scooble. It was terrible. Both teams actually were just built terribly. You get down to the fourth batter, or Ramirez is out, and they're going, okay, maybe in 2 innings when he comes back up again, we'll have a chance. I mean, you just sat there for the rest of you just knew nothing was going to happen for the rest of the lineup for the next couple innings because everybody, it was just nothing.
Okay, you're right.
And
but
you go into the offseason, and they do nothing to help the team.
Matt,
I mean,
you are right.
Hopkins was a nice start.
You are right. Can I share this, though? Can I share a worse scenario for you?
Yeah.
If Cooper Ingle was still in AAA and Stuart Fairchild did that, that's worse. That's worse.
Oh.
I mean, the guys that they've called up or the guys that they've brought in who have been waste of at-bats while other guys have – it's not happening as much this year, but have languished in AAA when they should have been up here. That would be really frustrating. This was it was silly. It was a silly-ass moment. That's how I felt.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other point to that too is you can't blame Vogt. There's teams that the New York Mets would love to have Stephen Vogt. They wouldn't be in the situation they're in right now. They would probably be, they'd be cruising along. Even the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, I love Tito, but I think time has passed him by. Vogt is a good manager, and it helps the front office to the excuse of, we're just going to go with the guys we have because we have such a great manager.
I mean, he's certainly
we're not
perfect.
Help him out with some players, and that's the problem. And I think that's part of the enabling of the front office to not do anything in the office.
Matt, I see your point there, and thank you very much for the call. Yeah, no, he's not a perfect manager, but he's a really good manager. And I think the point about the Mets are the anti-Guardians. You guys are going to hate this. The Mets are proof positive to owners in the league why you can't just throw money at a situation and think it's going to win you a championship. I mean, they've spent a boatload of money on that team. They hate each other, and they don't look like they're having any fun whatsoever. And certainly the fans in the stands aren't having any fun.
You always think you would trade your problems for somebody else's problems. Think about how different the conversations are in this town if we were the Mets.
No, I'd be sick. You'd be absolutely sick. Well, look at the conversation with the Cavs. You can't have a conversation about the Cavs and disappointment about the Cavs without talking about it's the most expensive roster in the NBA.
It comes up,
when you have that brought up, and it happens with the Mets, and then those fans have to go around and turn around in the fall and root for the Jets. Holy God. Coming up in 5 minutes. I am going to get to this. I thought I was going to do it earlier, but we had so many people wanting to get in on the Cooper Ingle thing. Here we go. If you want LeBron back, you're going to have to give up someone big. Like a unicorn. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan.
All right, time to talk about that real estate market, always in flux. You need someone on your side that can truly help you out.
trusted service, and convenient locations. Book your appointment today at ConsumerTire.com, your local tire and auto service experts.
Sign up to be a part of the fan club. Download the free Odyssey app and follow 92.3 The Fan to get all of the best audio and best stories sent straight to your inbox. 92.3thefan.com.
ET phone tone. You want LeBron?
Yeah, I'd like him. Be nice to have.
You willing to give up a unicorn for him?
For LeBron?
216-474-0092. I think it's going to come flat out to that. Are you willing to give up Evan Mobley to make sure LeBron comes here? Now, it's not just Evan Mobley for LeBron. It would be bringing in Jaylen Brown. I think that's where some of these tentacles are going. Brian Windhorst was on ESPN yesterday. Here's what Wendy had to say. Listen closely.
The league changed this afternoon with LeBron coming on the market, and not only that, but basically announcing that he's available to just about everybody. And so start your engines on how you're going to retrofit. That is a curveball that affected the whole market. So now let's talk about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has not found a home. The Celtics have not found a home. After they tried to send him to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo over the last week, they have talked to a number of other teams. They have failed to get traction on a deal. Cleveland Cavaliers learned today that LeBron James will be willing to play for less than his market value salary. That changed everything. So how does Cleveland get LeBron James' attention? Do they show him their beautiful brand new practice facility they're building? It is awesome. I saw it this week in Cleveland. But that is not going to impress them. What's going to impress them is what they do something with their roster. What can the Cavs do? James Harden opted out yesterday. He is willing to partner with the Cavs to figure out a way how to improve the roster. Jaylen Brown is out there. Can the Cavs make a move for Jaylen Brown? Then come to LeBron and say, how do you feel about us now? That's the type of move that you're going to do to get LeBron James' attention.
That's Wendy on that, and I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. Now, putting 2 and 3 together here, yesterday we had Justin Termini on the show, and he had brought up how the market is lowered for Jaylen Brown. Now, he put that on Jaylen Brown's personality. That's what he blamed it on, which we had several listeners pipe in right after. They went, whoa, wait a minute. This guy is saying he doesn't want to be there anymore. If you have a guy openly saying he doesn't want to be there and doesn't want to play for the Celtics anymore, why do I have to pay full price? Shams Charania, ESPN, he said basically the same thing that the fans were saying yesterday here on The Fan.
Well, you got to tell me what the fans were saying first, because
Well,
I didn't hear.
they were saying that they were saying that it was if he's saying,
yeah, you want to get him at a discount. Is that the premise here?
Here's Shams.
I can't find a team right now that is willing at this moment to give up that amount of draft capital. So then it just becomes, are Brad Stevens and that front office fine trading away Jaylen Brown for potentially less than that? Potentially, I had one GM said 40 cents on the dollar. Because that's what it's come down to in Boston. They just have not been able to find teams as of yet to get to that threshold.
We ain't got the picks. We got the player. Got Evan Mobley, 24 years old. He's young. You willing to do that to bring in Jaylen Brown and LeBron? Because it seems that LeBron wants the Cavs to make a move. James Harden is working with the Cavs here. This is all starting to click into place a little bit. I want to know from the fans, are they willing to make that move? To bring LeBron back, that shortens your window significantly.
Yeah, so we got to talk it out a little bit.
Let's talk it.
We got to talk it out a little bit. I'm really curious what fans think, what other media members think. I'm curious to think what the front office thinks about this, because all we've heard is Evan Mobley is untouchable, but you and I both know
you're untouchable until you're no longer untouchable.
And plus, there was a chance that they don't move him at all. And then do you want somebody salty that's been in the mix for a lot of trades? That's the Jaylen Brown situation with Boston.
And there might be, because I don't know what the tenure, what the feeling of the not tenure. Good God, I don't know what the tenor of the fans is going to be about Evan Mobley. Like, we could get a bunch of people lining up going, bye, see you, we got to bring LeBron back. Or there could be a lot of people who are upset. But if the fans line up and say, okay, we'll get rid of Evan Mobley to bring in LeBron and Jaylen Brown, if that trade doesn't happen and the Cavs were to let out that they were really considering this, well, then you get the fans kind of against Evan Mobley, especially if he messes up. The fans are already not in a great mood about the Cavs, so then you kind of get the fans pulling against him because you're talking about bringing back the icon,
so you're not
the beloved figure. Like, there's a lot of ugliness that could happen. Yeah,
you certainly don't want to, create any kind of controversy.
We can talk about it all we want, but the Cavs can't.
So let's talk fit here, right? And the thing is, Jaylen Brown is a better basketball player, better two-way player. In a league right now where being a two-way player is everything. Having guys on the perimeter that can hit tough shots if they need to in the highest of leverage situations. Well, we've seen that. We're talking about with Jaylen Brown, an MVP of the NBA Finals. That's a pretty big deal. And he showed this year he could put a team on his back in the regular season. You don't necessarily want him having to do all that in the playoffs because he's not a top 5 player. But he is somebody this year I thought was a top 10 player in the league. And so you'd be getting better immediately in terms of talent. But it also creates a hole defensively. They already weren't a great team defensively last year. On the interior, you get better defensively on the wing. And sure, if you have LeBron can guard power forwards.
I think keep Jared Allen in this scenario.
In this scenario, yes. So but the fit is the question. I saw people saying, well, you're bringing another ball stopper in, but is the fit good with Evan Mobley right now? Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, I don't think can play together. I don't think in the playoffs, I think it's kind of been proven that there's a ceiling there to how those guys play together, that having two guys who are considered big men, neither 7-footers, by the way, that can't really shoot and not a ton of playmaking, that's a clunky fit too. So as we're talking these things out, you're trying to just figure out, is this a better alternative than run? Nobody seems to want to run it back, right? I know you've lost Dean Wade and you've lost Keon Ellis. I don't think you're factoring that in big time.
No, not really.
But it seems like when we talk to Cavs fans, they don't really want to run it back. So is this a better version? Does this get them closer to a championship? And it's hard for me to say it gets them closer to a championship. But at the same time, we kind of feel like the team as is dead on arrival. So what do you do with that information? How do you compute that? What do you do if you're Kobe Altman? Is there another move that you have after that? Is it just do the LeBron thing, trade Evan Mobley, and so you're closing your window even further, clearly, but you didn't care about that when you made the Darius Garland move for James Harden. You weren't worried about keeping that window open for a long. And by the way, the window's all shut way sooner than you think they are.
Yeah.
So as I'm talking it out, does it seem more appealing to you? Obviously, you get LeBron.
Is my goal now to win a championship, or is it to keep the window open? I know everybody like to do both. I think you're gonna have to make a decision here.
Yeah, and I keep coming back to, I don't know that keeping the window open is all that viable.
All right,
for
so
plenty of reasons.
Who replaces Dean Wade? Is it Jonathan Kuminga?
No, I don't think if you do these moves, I don't think you can afford.
Okay, so you can't afford. So who on the current Cavs? Because I'm thinking of it going Donovan, Jaylen Brown, LeBron. Good God, you get a starting 5 with those 3 there. That's going to sound really good to everybody. Donovan, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Jared Allen. Who am I missing? Who steps into that starting 5?
Well, in this case, you still have Max Strus.
Okay,
depending on how you want to play it, because remember, Mobley is gone. So Mobley was somebody who made up for a lot of the defensive mistakes. That's gone now. So look, there's no perfect scenario. I think that's what I'm trying to get people to understand.
No, there isn't.
And none of you seem to want to run it back.
Nobody.
So, I think a lot of the teams in the NBA right now are thinking about how to tinker with their roster, even if it doesn't guarantee that they get better. That's what the T-Wolves did. The T-Wolves made those moves and went and got LaMelo Ball. Can I poke a lot of holes in that team building? Sure, but they were stuck. They weren't going to win. Are the Cavs stuck right now with Evan Mobley?
I thought about this all night, and I think they are. And I think that I knew that if it were straight up Jaylen Brown for Evan Mobley, and that was it, I had very strong reservations about that, and I didn't really let you talk me into it. If it comes down to LeBron, so I'm going to expect LeBron to do a lot of things. LeBron has made a lot of people in his career fit in to the system. I know that's an overused term, but he's made a lot of guys who, like J.R. Smith to the New York Knicks before he got here, was cantankerous and goofy, and a lot of Knicks fans didn't like him. They love him now, but a lot of Knicks fans didn't like him at that time. And a lot of Knicks fans at that time, and you can maybe they'll deny it, but I know for a fact they were sitting good riddance to bad rubbish. And J.R. Smith is just about beloved here. And I love J.R. Smith. Everybody does. So I put Donovan, LeBron on that team. And then Jaylen Brown, who, according to Termini and a couple others, boy, he's angry. He can be,
You're getting a motivated guy.
Moody, but he is motivated. And so if LeBron's there, you know what this all is about. This is for a championship. It's not just for a championship for LeBron. It's a championship for Donovan, a championship for Jaylen Brown. Like, this is to legitimize everything and to go through the East. I think I'd be willing to make this move, even though I got to figure out who the fifth guy on the floor is going to be. And I know I'm giving up offense or giving up defense. Yes, I'm willing to make this move.
Here's what I like. Harden now slips down to like your fourth best player.
Yeah.
Last year in the playoffs.
Oh my God. I left James Harden out of this mix.
He led the team in minutes.
Oh my God.
So that shows you how much they had to rely on someone who was 36 years old. And, you know, he was a roller coaster. Right? You don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals without him. He also, in his high usage, he cost you games. So now
I'm willing to make the move.
Now if he's down to your fourth option, I think you're in a much, much better spot.
Well, are you willing to make the move? I am. I'm willing to do it.
I think you can hear it in my voice. Like it's not an all-in, no-brainer, but I think you do it.
Donovan,
I do think you do it.
Jaylen Brown, LeBron, Jared Allen, James Harden.
Let's get the bonus of LeBron's last season in Cleveland.
Well,
I don't think people understand the price you can put on that.
I wonder if it's 2 years in
or
Cleveland.
2. I don't know.
Because his other son is at Arizona this year, right? Yeah. Do you do a retirement tour in 27, 28, and you bring in his other son? Do you have another second-round pick in the 2027 draft?
Well, they're going to ask you have another son who can come up and play. I don't know. You'd have to.
I'll take if it's a sweetener, fine. Bring in, it's Bryce, right? The young one. Bring in Bryce. Go right on ahead and do that next year if you want to. I'll have 2 years of LeBron then. Yeah, I think I'll make this move. 216-474-0092. It's tough to move on from a guy like Evan Mobley. I wasn't willing to do it just 1-for-1 with Jaylen Brown. It does scare me about some of the things.
Is he ever going to be better than Jaylen Brown?
I don't think he is. So why am I chasing literally a unicorn in so many ways when we talk about it? I'm chasing a unicorn when I got something here that could compete right now. This is going to give me the best chance possible. This is a better chance to win a championship than anything I've had. And what I've had has been good. That's a 64-win team 2 years ago, 52-win team this last year. That's a really good basketball team. This team beats that team. This team can beat the New York Knicks and get to the NBA Finals. I will make this move.
Coming up at 8. We talked it out.
8:20, Joe Varden going to join us on the show. Coming up in 5 minutes on About Last Night, we say goodbye to a guy who was only here for a couple of moments, and this man doing the right thing. He's just moving on to 2027 and getting ready for it. If you were a betting man, you'd say that was the sound bet to make. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, About Last Night in 5 minutes on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here for the Ohio Turnpike, reminding you that it is Orange Barrel season.
the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
How it is when you win in Cleveland, man. They love you. When you lose, whew, it's the way it should be.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him, how he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
That sounds really good, but I'm not 6'5", and I don't have the athletic ability to play in the NBA.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
13 hours and 46 minutes and 32 seconds into free agency, and the Cavs have lost two big pieces of their rotation. Keon Ellis signed with Brooklyn for 2 years, $18 million. Dean Wade signed with the Sixers for 4 years and $39 million. Now, Dean Wade obviously was the bigger contributor for the Cavs this season, but I feel like Keon Ellis is the bigger loss because you traded for him. And he was supposed to be that defensive developmental piece, and now he's just gone. And this team, the way it's shaking out, where you're going to probably look for Jaylen Brown and probably look for LeBron, and again, you're probably going to re-sign Harden. I guess like that's a foregone conclusion. You're going to have to fill out. I think this bench of this Cavs team next year is not going to be anywhere near as potent as it has been.
Well, certainly if you get LeBron and all those things, no. But
how potent was our bench in the playoffs?
It wasn't very potent.
I think Max Strus was pretty electric off the bench. I think Dean Wade could give you. I mean, he was
electric.
Well, Dean Wade's been a starter.
He was a starter.
That's why I think Dean Wade's the bigger loss. You say that Keon Ellis is the bigger loss.
I think Dean Wade.
It's just because you didn't really get to see Keon Ellis, and because of not Dean Wade doesn't have Dean Wade doesn't have a lot of fans here. And most people are ready to see him pack because he doesn't really score that often. But somebody in a rotation has to play the defense. And if you're asking more offensively from Evan Mobley before that, well, then that means Dean Wade was going to have to play the defense. And Dean Wade was a pretty decent defender. So I think it hurts a little bit more to lose Dean Wade than it does Keon Ellis.
I just think that you gave up capital for Keon Ellis. You didn't really get to see him as much. I feel like you would have liked to see him play more in the playoffs. I get Dean Wade contributed more to the team this year. I think Keon Ellis is more in the plans long term. I don't think the Cavs ever thought they were bringing back Dean Wade.
Wade was an important part of last year's team. Unfortunately, too important for what he is as a player. They had to rely, just like they had to rely too much on James Harden. But if all of a sudden you have LeBron and Jaylen Brown, completely minimizes the loss of those guys.
True.
Brendan Sorsby had
remember him,
a statement.
Kenny? Do you remember him?
I do. Vaguely.
Are we not going to talk about him again for a year?
I got to tell you, I don't know if we're ever going to talk about him ever.
Seriously?
Because, okay, read your Sorsby thing, and then I'll get to that.
He released a statement saying that he's not going to pursue the legal action and that he's just going to focus on the 2027 draft, which is ridiculous to me because he's not going to play. He's not going to play for a year.
And what should he focus on?
Yeah, what is he supposed to focus on?
He should be focusing on going to
Rounders too.
His parlays?
He needs to play somewhere. He needs to play football somewhere this year.
Where?
JUCO. Go to JUCO. Play football. Dice up the competition.
Will they allow him in JUCO?
You can do whatever you want. Last chance you.
It's a different governing body.
Well, you just can't shout last chance you. I mean, there is a governing body to it.
I'm sure that they would have a discussion about it, but that's what JUCO
they'll have a
is
discussion.
For. JUCO is for guys who need that second chance.
Well, here's the thing. His mechanics were widely criticized. It's why he's not a first-round pick. But the traits, people love the traits. Would he be better served just making this a full-time job, getting better at quarterback? How many hours can he pour into it?
It might be. But when John's saying JUCO, we have to think about this. Like, they also take insurance policies out. Does that cover JUCO? Is the level of football you're playing covered in your insurance policy when they take it out against injury, guarding against injury? I don't know. I have to ask these questions. We don't know because it might still be in his best interest. It may very well be a very good idea to go play JUCO and get that football in you. I'm not denying that, John. But if he has his insurance policy and if it's just better for him with the investment he's making into himself to go get your training and go work out for a year, which, boy, we've seen guys work out for a year and have to come back, and you lose something there, not playing real football. But going back to this situation that you brought up, I don't know if we'll ever talk about him again. It's crazy because he dominated our storylines for a couple of weeks. Because what's the likelihood the Browns draft a quarterback in the first round next year?
Pretty high.
Okay, so then we ain't drafting. Yeah. He's not going to go in the first round.
No.
So we're not drafting him.
No, I mean this is gonna send him packing to Maybe to where Shedeur was drafted. Maybe he's a 5th-round pick.
The Shadow Realm?
And will his fans be mad? Well, 1st-round talent, 5th-round pick.
Sorsby has fans? Not like Shedeur.
I think,
no, sir.
The funny thing is, the Texas Tech were ready to be a fan of his. They were going to war for him, just like his coaches and everybody. And then it was like, ooh, out of sight,
because
out
he
of
could
mind.
play for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Now he can't play for Texas Tech. Shedeur's fans are Shedeur's fans for life. Brendan Sorsby probably has creditors that he might be having to run away from there.
Is that why Kessler refusing to work on contingency? Because clearly they're out of money. How could he have any more? That's one of the best lawyers in the world at antitrust stuff.
He didn't have that much money to begin with.
We got a lot of high school kids whose parents are listening, even some high school kids who play football on Fridays. And there's some of you guys out there going to really big schools. I hope you guys are paying attention to this, because this could derail his entire life / career. This is very, very deep stuff. And I don't know if people brought up, does he ever play football again? I think he gets an opportunity to play football again, but it's at least he's out for a year, because
or does he go the other way?
UFL's closed up, CFL ain't gonna have him.
Or does he go the other way? Because now he can gamble all he wants on college football.
Does he become a tout?
Yeah. Does he become a tout?
Does Brendan Sorsby become a gambling analyst for ESPN?
I bet you he could make money. I bet you he could make money. You guys laugh, but he's allowed.
There's a future there. There is a future there. Not what it could have been in the NFL, but there's a future there. I'd say start watching all the Stu Feiner videos you can and start ripping him off.
Real quick here. Kawhi Leonard traded back to the Raptors for 2 firsts, a first-round pick swap, and 2 seconds, along with Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick. The Blue Jays posted the video of him walking into the Rogers Center after they won the NBA championship back in 2019. I thought that was this, and then I was wrong about that. But my original question was going to be, if LeBron comes back, where do you want his first public appearance in Cleveland to be?
Last time it was at InfoCision Stadium.
And they had Skylar Gray sing "I'm Coming Home."
Yeah, I think that's who it is. Where's his first appearance at?
Man, I don't know.
LeBron's preseason game.
Oh, well, would he want to lend his services?
Gardo's game?
Maybe
Does he throw out a first
smashing
pitch?
a guitar.
Does he throw out a first pitch at Gardo's game? I mean, football season, it starts in September. Aren't they already in camp by the time that happens? Because the season starts earlier now. So maybe it might be a Guardians
show up
game.
at a Swenson's.
Show up at a Culver's. Love that.
No, it's Swenson's. He's an Akron. See, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
John doesn't know.
Why would he know?
Yeah, he wouldn't know.
You haven't had Swenson's yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Well, I'm afraid because Ken said that he had Swenson the other day and it didn't go so well.
No, I didn't.
You said your wife brought it home and you said you spent the whole night on the toilet.
No, I didn't.
You absolutely did. Absolutely did last week.
I did not say that.
You did.
I didn't say that to
But
you.
that could happen for any. You could eat anything, and that could happen.
There's 2 heavyset men in this studio at any given time. I wasn't the one who said that to you.
You absolutely did. I'm not going to back down on this.
I don't think I've had Swenson's in
try it.
months.
It's got a little-
I don't know if I've had Swenson's in 2026.
What do they do? Is it like a hint of cinnamon in the recipe?
I don't think I've had Swenson's this year. What are you talking
See?
about?
He's done with In-N-Out Burger. Could be welcoming Swenson's.
You on
Right back
drugs,
to the
boy?
fray.
No. Well,
You sure?
not on the bad drugs. I'm on the Ritalin today.
Lay off the drugs.
Okay, Stephen A. That's it for About Last Night.
8:20 this morning. Joe Varden going to join us on the show. Is LeBron coming back, or is it still just a pipe dream? And you might have to make a move because the Cavs got passed up yesterday in the Eastern Conference. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. It's Fat and Thin in the morning on 92.3 The Fan, 92.3thefan.com, on the free Odyssey app, and on YouTube Live for free.
weeknights 11 to midnight. All the best segments from all our shows, and you can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Connie time. 92.3 The Fan, looking for a winner for the Connie. Enter the code word RING, R-I-N-G, 923thefan.com before 9 a.m. for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to Northeast Wrestling's Wrestling Under the Stars, Friday, July 10th at Avon's Forefront Field. Get tickets at LakeErieCrushers.com. It's brought to you by Wrestling Under the Stars at 92.3 The Fan. That word again, RING, R-I-N-G, RING. Enter it at 923thefan.com before 9 a.m. It's your chance to win. Oh, good luck. Joe Vartan going to join us at 8:22 coming up. Where is LeBron really coming back, or is it still a pipe dream? Well, the Cavs need to make some moves here because even if it's not LeBron, a lot of people believe you got passed up over the evening where the Kawhi Leonard trade is just about, that's consummated, correct? Kawhi Leonard's headed to the Toronto Raptors. So right now, off the tippy top of your head, Tone, where do you see the Cavs in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, as of
where do they rank?
As of today, obviously, Knicks are number 1. And then I'm telling you, it is a free-for-all after that. Look, Detroit hasn't made their move or moves yet. Indiana, stuff is kind of percolating behind the scenes there with the Pacers. But, you can't forget about them at all. We know what a nightmare they were to go up against, and their team is, kind of transforming, but Halliburton will be back healthy. They were snake-bitten this last year with the injuries. Boston, something's got to be done, right? Like, it's hard to believe now that Jaylen Brown is going to be able to coexist. I know Bill Simmons said all they have to do is sit down. You know what? I said that about Kyrie and LeBron, and people from within the Cavs front office, they were like, good luck with that. Like, once it's over, it's over. It just is. So I think they're getting broken up, and then it will vastly depend, but they'll be a totally new-look Celtics team if that's the case, and Jaylen Brown gets traded. So I can't pencil them in the way I have. And even when they have had those guys, they have fallen short the last few years. Toronto, I am seeing people say this definitely means Toronto is ahead of the Cavs, but I've seen some others kind of put them on equal playing field. I will say for now, they are ahead of the Cavs. But the Cavs haven't made their moves yet. If you're telling me we get LeBron and Jaylen Brown and there's a whole new look to this, I think I might say the Cavs are ahead. But it's close. It's close. Kawhi just had an unbelievable year. He played like a top 5 player through most of his year.
I just have a blind spot, as a wise man once told us, for Clipper basketball. Like, if I'm watching West Coast basketball, I'm watching Golden State. I'm watching Portland. I'm watching the Lakers. The Clippers do not compute. The Kings do not compute to me. The Suns
you didn't watch a lot of Kawhi last year.
No. I honestly, I haven't since how long has he been with the Clippers? A few years? Yeah. I haven't watched Kawhi in a very long time. So you're telling me this is kind of news. It was the same thing with James Harden. I knew James Harden was good just by box score checking. I really didn't check on Kawhi a whole lot because I just assumed he wasn't really playing, and then we saw the carbon offset stuff and all the other crazy stuff that was going on. I didn't really know. Their team was just not on my product ladder. So when I first saw that people were saying that the Raptors were better than us, my first thought was to roll my eyes. And then I thought, well, let's just see this out. Because
You went to 7 games with them last year, and that was without Kawhi.
And I can't fully, and that's exactly why I can't fully judge something I haven't seen. So I didn't want to go shoot off my mouth until I really knew. And I knew what you were going to tell me because I did not know what I was seeing or not seeing at that time. So I would put the Knicks are number 1 because they won the championship. That's what they deserve. What'd you just say about Detroit?
They haven't made their moves yet. Their move or moves. But, the Durant thing is very interesting because he's talking to the Lakers. What would they want in return if there's a sign and trade? There was some Kyrie buzz
Knicks,
about a few weeks ago.
Raptors. Are Celtics still ahead of the Cavs? Did you just say that?
I said that we don't
if we
know.
If we get Jaylen Brown and LeBron, well, that's an if. I'm talking about right now. So right now, as of this morning at 8:07, I think you are the fourth best team in the East. Celtics, Knicks, Celtics, Raptors, us.
And you didn't say anything about the Pacers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's
Tyrese
tough,
Halliburton.
but it's tough.
You know, they lost a couple other pieces, too. I'm still going to put us fourth. Detroit's got a good young basketball team, but we're talking about the right now, and right now Jalen Duren is talking to the LA Lakers, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put us fourth. And that is not going to make anybody happy. Now, I don't want to be desperate. It is a desperate move. There's no way around it. So I got to do what I got to do. If I'm being told about LeBron coming back and the possibilities of him coming back, and Wendy saying there's moves to be made, that James Harden is working with the Cavs and possibly LeBron to redo his contract, to make room for LeBron, to possibly make a trade. Like, Evan Mobley has been a third-rail, untouchable person for a long time until this offseason. And if I got to speed up the clock, I got to speed up the clock. LeBron and Jaylen Brown, that changes things. LeBron, Harden, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, Jared Allen. I mean, that is a great starting five. Now, by name, it's a great starting five, and I know the team is very, very, very old. I'm not concerned about 28, 29. I'm concerned about 26, 27, and maybe 27, 28. I'd like 2 years from LeBron. This year is a season, and then a retirement tour next year. Of course, I'm asking that out of a 43-year-old man. And every time he steps on the floor, not trying to wish this into existence or talk this anything, I know I'm scaring some folks, but the older you get, and he's not had a serious injury, every time he steps on the floor, there could be a possibility the older he gets. And once he has a big one, that's it. It's not that he's 26 anymore. We saw it with Kobe. Once he had the Achilles injury, that was basically it for the career. He's older than Kobe was. He's got a lot of miles on him. If something bad happens, something bad happens. But you know what? Wouldn't you rather swing for the fences and go ahead and do that now than any of the other stuff? I think you would.
And, you know, the hard part is, like, if you're telling me, hey, this isn't a great fit, why are we abandoning the hopes and dreams of a unicorn Evan Mobley? You have to tell me what you think Mobley is truly capable of and the likelihood he gets there. I'm not really hearing that from a lot of people. People are just telling me, you can't move Evan Mobley. Whatever you do, they're in love with Evan Mobley. You can't abandon this early. All right, tell me what you think.
You're
he
in love
ends
with
up
Evan
being.
Mobley until you get a chance to get something better.
I want to hear what people think. Will he ever become better than Jaylen Brown? I do not think he will.
No, I don't either. And because I don't either, and I know Jaylen Brown's cantankerous, and Justin Termini warned us about that. If you're getting LeBron and Donovan Mitchell's obviously still going to be on the team, you have a personal friend of his. You have LeBron, who has got people to fall in line before. In his own way, and we've been critical of him at times, LeBron has got people to fall in line before. I think it could be a successful bunch. I think it can. I think it could be more successful than what we already have. However, there is the legacy question, LeBron, and I know we will have Joe Varden coming up here momentarily. This is very interesting. Dave McMenamin, ESPN, he had this to say about LeBron. He thinks he should come home.
I mean, of all the places in the world where he could come to the conclusion that he was going to be leaving the Lakers and telling the Lakers he was going to be leaving, it just so happens to be Akron, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm not going to say that's all of the clues right there, but we have to read the tea leaves here. I know that several members of LeBron's kind of inner circle are going to meet him in Ohio this week. And I'm sure they continue to have a discussion about what the decision will be. But it could be the best situation right down the road from where he grew up, 45 minutes from Akron, with the Cavs for a third stint. And really, I've followed this guy now for 12 years around the country. I've seen different fan bases, different arenas. The only place that accepts him, embraces him, celebrates him for everything that he is Cleveland, Ohio.
Before I play the Pluto, do you think Dave's actually wishing a little bit? Think about it for a second. He's a married man now.
Yeah.
He's lived in Cleveland. Now, I don't think he's going to take a pay cut to come back to Cleveland to cover LeBron. He knows damn well his salary is going to go a hell of a lot further in Cleveland, Ohio than it will in San Francisco, California. That's just a good businessman right there in Dave McMenamin. So if Dave could go on TV and continue to promote that, I would enjoy that. Because he's lived in Cleveland. He enjoyed his time here in Cleveland. You guys back in the single days had some nights out here in Cleveland.
Yeah,
I don't mean to speak out of turn here.
Yeah, he's losing a drinking friend.
Well, wait a minute. Whoa,
I won't be available this time around.
You can don't say that. I mean, your kids are getting a little bit older.
Am I going to get some more time? Are you telling me?
Now, that's all up to the missus.
Freed from the shackles of these two toddlers?
That's all up to her. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say all that. Maybe you aren't going to get more time. But you know what? He can find other people.
Dave already
John's here. He can go drinking with John.
I will say Dave was quick to respond to any of my texts until yesterday.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know what that means.
Terry Pluto brought up a different side of this, though. From the Cleveland Plain Dealer, Terry Pluto was on Baskin and Phelps. He actually disagrees with Dave McMenamin.
If LeBron were to come back to Cleveland, let me throw this out. You guys should ponder this.
Mm-hmm.
All he can do is ruin his legacy, unless he happens to win another title here, which is difficult. But right now, he is viewed as, the preeminent, not only of the best player that they ever had here, but making the greatest accomplishment in NBA playoff history, winning coming back from 3-1. As you mentioned, that team is always revered. He'll always be revered. You come back here at the age of 41, you're playing next to 37-year-old James Harden and trying to kind of make this work. If I were him, I think I'd rather go to Golden State and try it with those guys.
I have a mountain of respect for Terry Pluto. I don't think he can ruin his legacy, though. If he comes back, I don't think it ruins any of the memory of 2016. I can't see a scenario where he shows his ass and kills any of the good nature that he has with the fans.
Yeah.
The goodwill that he has with the fans.
How would he ruin his legacy? One final year.
I think it's a bit strong.
The fans actually get a chance to see him, and it's not going to be outrageous. Like if it was, we talked about if it was Golden State, one game in Cleveland.
Well, when this
the
first
most
got,
expensive ticket in years.
When this was being brought up, not just when it first got brought up, but over time this year, like any time LeBron get brought up, people would jump in and say, you don't want the drama back. And I'm thinking, there's not much drama anymore. I used to be one of those guys a few years ago when he was a free agent, like, drama, don't need it. We got this good young basketball team. Now we've been in it for the last couple of years, and I think we're hitting a pretty big concrete ceiling above us, and we're trying to break through up there. LeBron at 41, there's always going to be drama around the guy. He's making videos on Instagram about coming home, all that stuff. There is always going to be a little bit of drama, a little bit of intrigue. I don't think it's anywhere near the same as it was before. You come back home, my concern was he might not be ready to face retirement. That's part of the reason I say 2 years with LeBron. He might not be ready to do it, and it may be feeling like a move to just end the career. But I don't think that it's going to be nearly as dramatic as what it has been in the past because there is no tomorrow. If he comes home, this is it. This is it. There's no, oh my God, what's he going to do in 2029? No, that's it. There's no holding on to him. This is where it ends. So I don't have to worry about all the other crazy dramatic stuff that's happened in the past. And I don't think that would have an effect. 2016 is a very special time for everybody. And it holds a very strong place. And anybody who cares about the Cavs, it holds a very strong place in anybody's heart. I cannot see that changing. I can't see him allowing that to change. I think that if he does come back, I think he thinks about that moment and what he does to preserve that moment while trying to win a championship with this current Cavs team. Am I full of it? You want to ask Joe Varden if I am?
Absolutely.
He joins us in 5 on The Fan.
All right, Ryan Young right here in Northeast Ohio.
one, drafting for one, signing one as a free agent. That's what you do. If you don't have your guy, you turn over every stone and rock until you do find your guy.
Listen for Mary Kay Cabot from the Plain Dealer in Cleveland.com. Tuesday mornings at 11 on Cleveland's Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan.
Coming up in a little bit, we've all done dumb things on a baseball field. We just weren't professionals. I can't wait to tell you one of the dumb things I did on a baseball field one day.
Well, it sounds like you're making more excuses for him, Ken.
It's not an excuse.
Some people
I said
saying
it was
that.
stupid.
We all said it's stupid. What do you want us to do
what
after
should
that?
I say? Should I drive to his house and egg it? He probably doesn't live in a house right now. He just got up here. Should I drive to his hotel room and egg the door?
Who's the character in Seinfeld with the finger waving?
Oh.
Back and forth. That's what we have to do. Just right.
Babu Bot.
Yeah, right in front of his face. Just back and forth.
There's no people.
No.
Joe Varden. He joins us right now. I'll egg his house. He is on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, called Kyle Wright hotline. He is from The Athletic. Hello, Joe.
My freshman year of college, I led the North Coast Athletic Conference in hit batsmen. Now, it's not the same as tossing a ball into the stands when there are only 2 outs. But, I think that's notable to lead, if you're going to lead the conference in something, that it's hit batsmen. I think that counts.
We had a game against Navarre when I was a kid that a brawl almost broke out between the parents. My buddy Eric was pitching, and I'll never forget this because my teacher, my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Martin, was there, and Eric threw gas. And in the first inning, he goes up there and he hits the first batter. And then on the next pitch, he hits the next batter. And on the next pitch, he hits the next batter. And it's all by accident. By that time, we can't believe he's hitting batters. And we are all laughing. And the parents on the other side are going nuts. And then the next batter, he actually hits in the head. And the kid just runs to first base. And by that time, I am crying, laughing at the time. Everybody was. And it was just because he had zero control whatsoever. And he couldn't believe what was going on. And because he threw gas, it was making everybody. My dad had to go out there and take him out, and that wasn't. Right. It wasn't dumb. He just didn't have control. Happens. What are you gonna do?
It happens.
Yeah, you know that, Joe. You know that. What are we gonna do about LeBron? Is LeBron coming here? Come on, tell me yes.
Look, I think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Varden of The Athletic says he thinks so.
Let's go to the phones. 216-474-0092. He's coming home.
Thank you, Joe.
And I deserve, for all the times that I've been on the show saying that this would not happen, I probably deserve to sit on the phone with you guys.
Get him out of here.
But let's listen to this. All the signs for years had pointed to LeBron finishing his career in Los Angeles. And, privately and publicly, like all the voices that you trust were saying he's going back to LA. As recently as 2 weeks ago, on the Mothership Network, I mean, all of the reporting was, oh yes, they're negotiating. This is going to get done. And Kevin Love is going to the Lakers too, to be there as a veteran voice with LeBron and all. Okay. So that turns out to be wrong. Turns out there's a change of direction or heart or whatever. And so now I think we all have to admit that we don't actually know what is going on in his head and his heart. We don't know if he could go anywhere. Like he could go to San Antonio. He could go on a veteran minimum to the New York Knicks. That could happen. But if we are taking him at his word and the word of the people close to him about what matters now, the Cavs have as good of a chance and probably a more reasonable chance or a more reasonable case to be made than almost any other team. The Warriors also have that case. They do. And so you asked me, is LeBron coming back? I think he is. I think there are a lot of things that point to Cleveland being the most reasonable choice. But whether it's me or it is, Brian or it is Shams, or it is Chris, or it is, whoever. We didn't know. We didn't know what was going on. All the last few weeks, we didn't know where LeBron was. And so we have to be ready for anything at this point.
Joe Vardon joins us here from The Athletic on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline. How surprised would you be if he ended up in Golden State? How surprised would you be if he ended up in Miami?
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be surprised at this point because we just can't. Just to continue the previous thought, we cannot assign any thought or rhyme or reason to what he's doing now. Like we all thought LA. Okay. For how long did we all say, LeBron absolutely has to have a going away tour? That turned out to be wrong or misguided or to be determined. So, this idea that, oh my gosh, he would go back on years of rivalry that he's had in Cleveland and Los Angeles with the Warriors, that might not matter to him at all. He may just want to go play with Draymond. That'd be fine. Or, oh my goodness, the way he left Miami and Pat Riley is more vindictive than anybody in the NBA and there's just no way. I mean, if he got over it with Dan Gilbert, if those two were able to bury their differences, resolve their differences to work together again, there's no reason why that couldn't happen in Miami. So I really, truly mean this. I would not be surprised by anything that happens now. But I just also want to reiterate, I mean, Cleveland's case for LeBron to come back here again is compelling, for sure.
Does he have like a weird? What's the relationship with him and Dan Gilbert? Because you just mentioned Mickey Arison and it's fuzzy after a while, but like the Mike Miller didn't want to give him the bonus and that rubbed LeBron the wrong way. Like, what am I, just some carnival act to you? Like, are we trying to win a championship? Is there a weird respect that he knows that he's an owner that will just pull out all the stops to try to actually win a championship and money is not an option to him?
Yeah, I've been wondering about that too. I think that LeBron certainly has reached a point of wealth and acclaim that whatever there was between LeBron and Dan isn't really it shouldn't matter anymore. I mean, when LeBron came back the second time, he routinely applied pressure to Dan and by extension the front office to continue to spend, to continue to make changes, to remain competitive. I had never seen anything that would suggest that Dan Gilbert or David Griffin or Kobe Altman would have backed away from being competitive for LeBron anyway. But there was sort of that pressure, and it was always just kind of felt and conveyed to us, by LeBron that there was just somewhat of a lack of trust between those two. But now as a free agent and LeBron being at his age and where he is in his career, I don't think there would be there's no guesswork here. Like LeBron would know exactly who Dan is and exactly their history. And then, he can plainly see what the Cavs have to offer him right now in terms of the team on the floor, the money that can be offered, and the comfort of familiar surroundings. So no, I don't think that any relationship issues between Dan and LeBron would weigh into this.
Joe Vardon with us right now on the hotline as we're all continuing to monitor the situation. Brian Windhorst yesterday was talking about the teams trying to juice the pot, so to speak, to make the teams even more desirable for LeBron. Not necessarily that he's dictating things, but maybe how he'd like to see these teams formatted. What do you think the Cavs could do? I know Jaylen Brown's name has been brought up. What would be a good fit? What kind of Cavs team would make sense with LeBron James?
Yeah. So I want to go back to something that Brian said, I think it was last week. And he was on one of the 90 shows that he does for the network. And he says he's talking about a hypothetical sign and trade between Cleveland and Los Angeles where the Cavs send out Jared Allen and LeBron comes here, and he says the Lakers would be falling all over themselves to do that. That was not ever on the table or something that anybody was considering, and the moves that the Cavs would have to make that happen obviously didn't occur first and foremost, but they would have been tearing down their team just to make a sign and trade for a player that they can get as a free agent. And Brian, after the Lakers want Jared Allen type of soundbite, then he said, this is not happening. This is a long way of saying Brian was engaging in a thought exercise at the time. And so last night he's up there. It's their free agency special. And if you listen to what he says again, it sounds a lot like another thought exercise. When you talk about this in real terms, the Celtics, of course, and they've kind of floated this out there through the media, would definitely want Evan Mobley. Of course they would. But for the Cavs, just trading Evan Mobley at age 25 for a smaller player and an older player who doesn't do the same things Evan does and doesn't play the same position at a time when they couldn't really replace that, like, does that make sense for Cleveland, especially if they're loading up to try to win a title? I'm going to say no, that it doesn't make sense to trade Evan Mobley for Jaylen Brown. Now, does it make sense to trade Donovan Mitchell for Jaylen Brown?
Oh, boy.
To be clear, this is not something I'm reporting. This is not something I have heard. This is not something I am suggesting that the Cavs are considering. I am reacting to a vague soundbite from last night, and you're trying to say, well, is there a link between Cleveland and Boston? I don't know that there is, and I just admit freely this is a crazy time. And, you know, if something like that happens, okay. But if there's a move that makes more sense for Cleveland, I only suggest Donovan because he is coming up on a contract extension possibility. You know, July 7th, Cleveland can offer him, this massive 4-year, 200, whatever it is. I forget the final number. Whereas Jaylen Brown already has his extension. And so you could, theoretically, if Boston wanted to do that, you could make this move where you get someone who's actually going to cost a little bit less over the terms of his deal compared to what the Cavs are going to offer Donovan. And he's a little bigger. He's a lot bigger than Donovan. Maybe not quite the prolific scorer, but also probably a little bit better defender, maybe a lot better defender. I have no inclination that Boston wants to do that. And all the reporting so far is Boston is looking for this massive, haul that includes first round picks that I don't think Cleveland has. So if you're trying to understand what Brian may have been talking about, like those are the only two realistic options as far as Jaylen Brown goes. And you can see what I would think would be more realistic. But like to kind of bring this full circle, the Cavs, as constructed, are very close to winning. They went to the conference finals for the first time since '93 without this guy, meaning LeBron. And, these players in the locker room now, as far as James and Donovan goes, LeBron knows them. This is something that he didn't have in Los Angeles, that he wouldn't have if he goes to San Antonio or to another young and up-and-coming team. He has actual contemporaries in the Cleveland locker room. So he has the familiarity of living here. They are a winner on the floor. They have all their good players under contract. And on top of that, he has some people that he could actually kind of connect with, when they're shooting the stuff in the locker room or going to dinner or whatever the case. Like James is 36, going to be 37, and Donovan is a whatever time All-Star entering his 9th year. Like they know each other. So to me, I don't think the Cavs need to make themselves more attractive for LeBron. Like if he wants to come here, they have a extremely compelling case to be made right now, and I don't think they need to improve it.
Go ahead.
Well, I know we're running out of time, Joe. The landscape of the Eastern Conference, how much will this matter to LeBron James, and what's the pecking order if the Cavs land LeBron?
Wow. Well, if they land LeBron, I still think they need to trade Max to get their to make a better financial offer to LeBron. I think we're talking about a difference between $6 million and $15 million, which the money means nothing dollars and cents. It means everything in terms of sort of the look. So the Cavs already lost Dean, so that they get a little worse there. But I think if LeBron is on this team and no other major changes are made, I think they are strong, they are deep, they are veteran, they have a player who knows how to win, and they are as competitive or more so in a better Eastern Conference next season than they were this season. They absolutely are a bona fide championship contender if LeBron James comes back.
The great Joe Vardon, at Joe Vardon on Twitter. He's from The Athletic. Joe, thank you so much for the time. This has been a whirlwind of emotion and intrigue, and we thank you very much for it, my friend.
For you guys, anytime.
Joe Vardon, senior NBA writer for The Athletic. On the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, call Kyle Right hotline. Calling all golf pros out there. What you can do to bring LeBron James back to Cleveland, coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan.
Finding great candidates.
All guests appear on the 92.3 The Fan hotline, powered by Wise Hard Right. We make it right. Call Kyle Wright. Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
What are we going to do about LeBron? Is LeBron coming here? Tell me yes.
I think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Varden of The Athletic says he thinks so. Joe Varden with us just moments ago about LeBron James coming back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. 216-474-0092. Not just do you want him back, are you starting to believe that he is coming back? Are you getting your hopes up? Lima, Monday morning, basically was like, no, Kenny, no.
I refuse to allow it.
He refused to allow it. He talked me out of it. I go, yeah, you know what? What's he have to gain by coming back here? I don't think he can ruin his legacy, but yeah, you make a sequel. Some sequels are good. Some sequels, very few, are actually better than the original. A lot of sequels or third time around, it's a money grab when it comes to movies. You're just trying to milk the feeling. And this might be to milk the feeling in his eyes. But damn it, if you make a trade for Jaylen Brown, yeah, you're going to have to give up somebody pretty important. You're probably going to have to give up Evan Mobley to do that. But in the starting five of Jaylen Brown, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Jared Allen, guys, that's a pretty damn good starting five. Now, I don't know how many guys could come off your bench, or if there's anybody, that's a pretty damn good starting five. I mean, they made the Eastern Conference Finals. Hearing what Joe had said, they made the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a huge accomplishment. I don't think that should be farted at. This is the first time one of 3 times they've made the conference finals. And if I'm not mistaken, the only time under the current playoff rules or current playoff format that they made the Eastern Conference Finals without LeBron James. Now you can bring back LeBron and he can help you get over the hump. We all want to get over the hump. Everybody was disappointed with the way things ended. We all were. 22-point lead, you blew it, bad stuff. You know who's got an instinct to get people together? LeBron James. Boy, I feel like Elaine with David Putty. You know who likes that story? LeBron James. It does make sense to bring him back, but I do wonder if people are trying to talk themselves out of it because they don't want to get their hopes up.
Which is hard to do. It's hard to do this time.
Especially when Rich Paul's talking. We're going to play that for you here in a second.
Yeah, and obviously the nostalgia part of it too, which shouldn't be at the forefront. It shouldn't be, you're not trading Evan Mobley just to harken back to some good feels from the past.
No.
Like, that'll get stale if the team's bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You want it to feel like not only is this a proper send-off, whether it's, you're talking about maybe multiple years with LeBron.
I would like to.
But whether it's that or, also getting a chance to see them with a chance to win game in and game out, which I do think, whether it's Evan Mobley or Jaylen Brown, on a lot of nights, you're going to be feeling really good about your basketball team.
You are. Rich Paul, he was on with Max Kellerman. He's on with Max Kellerman on this.
That's their pod. Yeah.
All you golf people out there, all you golf pros, you might be able to do your part to bring back LeBron James. He says it doesn't matter the place he goes as long as there's golf to be played.
Does market matter?
As long as they're indoor and outdoor golf, Max, I think he'll be fine.
We have both.
Now, why would he do your Brian Windhorst hands? Why would he even mention indoor golf? Miami, you can play outdoor golf year-round.
True.
Why would he mention indoor golf?
Because you have to have simulators during the wintertime. We have one right down the street. I'm sure there will be. You can install simulators. They probably will have simulators in the new workout center that they have. I bet they'll put simulators in the arena for them. I bet people will put simulators in their own garage for them.
That was a story with the end of the year autopsy, whatever you want to call it, on the Milwaukee Bucks that Doc Rivers made them put in a $90,000 golf simulator into his office.
Oh, in his office?
Or, I mean, at the facility, but...
Well, is that one of the reasons that why they moved on from him?
They're making
is that
it seem
what they're
like
saying?
Maybe Doc wasn't working too hard towards the end. You remember the stuff that was lobbed at Byron Scott?
Yeah.
When he was here?
I could see him not working very hard at the end.
When does practice end today, Coach? When's my tea time again? Out east?
Ooh. A little bit of Mike Holmgren there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Rich Paul was asked about the Lakers, and he said that LeBron basically lost interest in L.A.
I said, well, where are you at in terms of returning right here where we at? And he said, 80%.
So 80% he's going to return to the Lakers when you had this first conversation. How long ago was this?
First conversation, weeks ago.
So several weeks ago, he's 80% likely to return.
Several weeks ago. Yeah. And then as the time went on, he thought about things more, kind of went down and down and down,
so
50%,
you're checking
30%.
in, and he's like, now I'm down to 60% or whatever it is.
Once he got to a place to where he said, listen, man, I understand where things are, and I get it. I know that's where I could probably make the most money. But for me, where I'm at today, it's probably not the best thing for me to do. I probably would just go away from that. And I said, are you sure? And he said, yes, I'm 100% sure that that's not a place I would want to return.
The audio is courtesy of Game Over with Max Kellerman and Rich Paul. You know, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what I find most interesting about that, and I believe Rich Paul. I don't think he's just saying anything because he has no reason to. There's no reason for him to lie for something like that. I think it's very interesting that this seems like the first time in a long time LeBron went into this with no grand plan, a comprehensive plan where, like, it seems like he's definitely changed his mind over the course of the last few weeks, which I think that might come as like a bit of a shock to the Cavaliers front office. Maybe other front offices as well. Maybe Miami's. I know Golden State, those rumors have been out there floated by Bill Simmons was the first person I heard say it, and he had never backed off it. So I just wonder in this case, Kenny, if that means something. Like, what would it change LeBron's mind all that much? The Lakers were already kind of putting it out there that this is not your team.
That expose with Ramona Shelburne, and again, I stand by it. I think to the hardcore Laker fan, and I don't know many of them. There's one I know online, and I may run it past him. Oh. I had him 9th as far as all-time beloved Lakers, and that includes Chick Hearn and Jerry Buss. I think he's behind them. Chick Hearn was the voice of the Lakers for 50 years. I do. I think it was just a business thing, and when you're thinking about ending a career, this is where the Cavs have it, man. I think love matters. Relationships matter. Love matters. He's not. He says it's about happiness, not money. Rich Paul himself says it right here in this clip. He's not talking about max dollars there.
We normally sit down and we talk about best fit. He's always been a max player, so that's always been the team had to have max cap space, so on and so. And we haven't been here much, right? But for this particular time, Max was a lot different. And I asked him, I said, listen, this is going into year 24. You don't owe anybody anything. You've accomplished more than any player has ever accomplished. You got every record, all the stuff. Let's find one foundational thing to build off of. And if I asked you that, what would it be? I don't need to answer now, but let's just try to find that. He said, okay, fine. Took a day or so, and he called me back and he said, okay, man, you know what? I just want to have complete happiness. And I said, great, let's start there. And then we talked about what does that actually mean? Because it could go either way. Happiness is not like you're getting a box of chocolates on Valentine's Day. Like, what do you describe it as such? And so as we're going through it, we got to a place where it can't be about money if it's about happiness, because if it's the most money, then it's not necessarily the most happiness, etc. Where we landed was, this is not about money. Obviously, I don't want to play for $1, but at the same time, I'm not basing this on the premise of finance, and will be based on whatever I choose to do when I choose to do it.
I think it's about fun and feeling. He can have fun in Golden State. He can have both in Cleveland. The feeling of it, there's emotion tied to it because of the history with Golden State. There is emotion there, but not like it would be here. I mean, this is a hell of an argument to make for the Cleveland Cavaliers and bringing him back.
Yeah. Yeah, the happiness thing, you keep coming back to the happiness thing. And the nostalgia play still has to be, I think, a big part of that. Or, would the Cavs even be mentioned? The Cavs weren't mentioned for Kawhi Leonard. They weren't mentioned for Giannis. Those teams looked at the Cavs situation and said, no, wouldn't sign an extension there. LeBron, nostalgia clearly is a huge part. Also, I just want to say, I know we got to go.
Yeah, why not?
Just listening to Rich Paul, I mean,
what about him?
I met that dude 20 years ago. Transformation as an entrepreneurial guy and a mogul and a magnet and somebody who's made $600 million on the court, and then think about what he's made off the court, anywhere from $60 to $100 million every year for the last 20 years. It's pretty crazy. Listen to Rich Paul. The guy is running the NBA.
Oh, he's America.
This is incredible. This guy's, I don't think you understand how big of a deal his story is.
I'm sure a lot of people are jealous of him. I just think it's America. That's an American success story, no matter which way you slice it. I mean, didn't he start selling jerseys in the airport? It's basically how this starts.
It's insane. And
now he's one of the three most powerful men in professional sports.
I get it. His first 4 years of doing that job, we all said the same thing. Oh, come on. This is a LeBron thing. No, not anymore, dude. No. He has the respect of everybody in that league.
A lot of people work for LeBron. He does not work for LeBron.
A bunch of people screwed that stuff up. Think about his friends that are no longer around him.
Yeah, at the beginning of it, it seemed to be like, okay, what? No, you can't do that now. That's some strong stuff. That's why I was a little bit surprised that one guy on ESPN said what he said yesterday. You saw what Kendrick Perkins said about him yesterday. Holy potatoes.
Oh, there's some jealousy there.
Can we – so I want to bring up, obviously, LeBron and whether or not you're willing to give up Evan Mobley to get Jaylen Brown, to bring back LeBron, to do all this. That is going to be brought up. There is a Shedeur conversation. Can I just ask people, what is a fit punishment for Cooper Ingle? I am getting smashed online for making excuses for him. Can we do that?
Yeah.
What do you guys want him drawn and quartered out there on Huron Road? What is a fit punishment for forgetting how many outs there are? Because I'm being told I'm the softest person in Cleveland media right now over Cooper Ingle of all people. 216-474-0092. Ken Carman, Tone Master General on the Fan. Window Nation and Window.
watch The Fan live on YouTube. Catch The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima from 6 till 10 a.m. Baskin and Phelps 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. And Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin from 2 to 7 p.m. Each and every weekday. It's free. Subscribe to 92.3 The Fan on YouTube.
You got me in battle mode now, Tone. You didn't get me in it, but now I got to focus on you. I got to turn the computer off. I'm in battle mode.
What happened here?
Over Cooper Ingle. Over Cooper Ingle. I'm in full on, like, I can't.
Is today going to go down as a LeBron show or a Cooper Ingle show?
One guy after another. Bench him. Send him down to Columbus. Send him down. Which actually, their starting lineup yesterday does actually include some guys that people are excited about. I mean, you got C.J. Kafis down there. You got Kobe Huff down there. Rafi Velasquez down there. Some people have cooled on him. I understand that, depending on who you listen to. But I'm going, guys, I'm not going to bench it. It was a stupid, honest mistake. What do you want the punishment to be? What is a fit punishment?
Military tribunal. Like, I am so confused. I am with you. Like, I think people,
I know what the punishment is.
I think people wanted us to shame him for the entire day. And is that the headspace you want your how many games in? 4-game rookie
barely
in the big leagues? Playing on a potential playoff team. You want to, totally rob him of any spirit, any confidence?
This is the punishment. This is the punishment.
It's humiliating.
This is a team that has cultivated young talent, and they've done a pretty good job of it. I know what Junior Caminero did yesterday. I don't think that ball has landed yet.
Another one.
Oh, my God.
Got 5 straight games.
Oh, my God. He's going to go down as Babe Ruth. For the most part, they've done a pretty good job of cultivating young talent. And they haven't played well. And so I know a lot of frustration is there. I get that. I understand that. But what is the point of me? What is the win of me being punitive with Cooper Ingle? Of actually benching him? Ruining his confidence, like you said. You just got up here. This is the punishment. Getting on the radio, turning the microphone on, and telling you guys it was a stupid mistake is the punishment. Having the conversation this morning and probably throughout the day, I'm sure Baskin and Phelps and Nick and Jonathan are going to do it. Calling it a stupid mistake is the punishment. But after today, to me, that's where it ends. And I've not denied once that it wasn't a stupid mistake. It's dumb. It is one of the things that I think players dread. One of the things. I think getting picked off at first is a dread.
That's about, falling asleep
John,
at the wheel there.
You're a baseball guy there. I mean, what are the other things that are up there? I mean,
well, you have to add the caveat of coming into pinch run and then getting picked off at first.
Okay,
that's the worst thing ever.
That's very, very bad.
Not knowing where to be on when you got someone in a rundown.
Missing a sign is really bad.
Missing a sign. John, but people don't really know that publicly. I'm talking about the big public shaming. Like, what the F are you doing? Like when Ozzie Guillen got picked off by the same pitcher and the same first baseman in the same season. He has worn that for a long time. Dave Bergman got him. I think it was a hidden ball trick, actually, with Dave Bergman.
Hidden ball's
John,
a great one, yeah.
What about if you don't hear the umpire call infield fly and you go hauling ass to third base, screaming at the person to take off home because he didn't catch the ball? Is that embarrassing?
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing.
Okay, because I did that.
Or passing up somebody on the bases.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I don't think I've ever seen that. That's one I don't think I've ever seen.
Lower levels, that definitely happens.
I did not hear an infield
Didn't
fly.
The Yankees do it in the 70s or something like that? They got 2 men at third.
I think you're right. I think John is actually right about that in history. Yeah, I didn't hear infield fly. I was like 15 years old, and I go hauling ass down to third base. And obviously, I'm a large kid at that point, so I'm sure it was funny. And I forget who was standing on third, and I am screaming at him to run home, screaming. And I ended up being the third out. And my guy said, I think it was Jason Perry, who was the third base coach, going, Kenny, he called infield fly. I go, well, I didn't hear it. I'm very sorry. Sorry to yell at him. I'm sorry to yell at you.
Your hearing's gone south ever since.
It's gone. I don't hear anything. When I meet new people, I always have to lean in, and I always apologize. I'm going, I'm sorry. I'm very hard of hearing. I apologize too. But the conversation we're having about Cooper Ingle now is the punishment. And he's sending him down, because really I'm only hurting myself. Like, if Quinshon Judkins fumbles 8 times, we got to have a conversation about it. If Quinshon Judkins fumbles once, I'm really annoyed. But if I take him off the field, I'm only hurting my own offense.
Yeah, what was the Nick Chubb, the 2 fumbles against New England?
Yeah.
And I only remember it because
it was
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
What,
I'm not taking him off the field over it. Exactly. Now, Cooper Ingle isn't Nick Chubb, for crying out loud. He's only been around for a little bit, less than a week. But I don't want to spike any confidence he has by it. He knows it was stupid. Tanner Bybee knew it was stupid. Everybody in the stadium knew it was stupid. That's the punishment. Everybody knew it was dumb, and us talking about him and not going, hey, how do we get Cooper Ingle going? Is Cooper Ingle starting to go? Is he going to take off these times? This conversation is the punishment for Cooper Ingle. That's it. I want him to be a part of the organization. I want him to be still up here. Sending him down, I don't think that's going to do anything for him. I'm going to send him down just because he forgot what it is. Then it becomes a bigger issue than what it already is this morning. Like, in the grand scheme of sports talk radio, in the grand scheme of everyday content, calling it what it is, this is not that big of a deal. If I send him down, then the conversation gets blown up to tomorrow. Then I'm talking about what type of team the Guardians are, what type of organization the Guardians are. And you could be proud on that and say they stand on their business of not allowing that sort of thing, or that could completely backfire and now I have to bring this guy up and deal with the confidence issue. Because then it becomes a bigger issue where they're asking him about that more and more. Oh, and when he gets brought up and when there's media availability, have you learned your lesson and not forget that there were only 2 outs? I mean, what type of question is that? I think he knows he's never going to do that again. I think he's going to check. I'd be very surprised if he did it again.
I think this should have the impact of making sure all the guys on the baseball team proceed forward.
They have not played well. It sucks. It sucks to basically lose a game in that fashion, even though, I could sit there and blame Sean Armstrong for what happened later. And, I
almost gave up 2 home runs.
I feel bad for Tanner Bybee. Pitched a pretty good game, except for one pitch that Jock Peterson got out on him. He had a good game, and he's been robbed of some wins this year. So I think that's added to the frustration, and they haven't played that well over the month of June. They've also had a lot of injuries in the month of June. But, Ken, you're just making excuses for him. No, I'm not making. I've called it stupid. What else? What more do you want me to say? Because any of the other suggestions to me are just nonsensical. So this is the fight. The fight we're having right now is the punishment for him. Going to LeBron, let me ask you this. Would you or would you not? Now, there's another conversation that's being brought up about Cleveland sports here we're going to have to get to because it comes down to a quarterback situation. But when it comes to LeBron, I don't know if I've got an answer out of you. I said it. I am willing to. They made the Eastern Conference Finals without LeBron this year. He might be the piece that gets us over the hump. He and Jaylen Brown may very well be the piece that gets us over the hump.
2 playoff killers.
Now, there's a lot of people who are willing to line up and trade away Donovan Mitchell, and I got to ask a question about the disrespect to Donovan Mitchell here because that was heresy a month ago. And now it's seeming that more and more people are. I felt that Nick Wilson kind of broke that wall down about Donovan Mitchell, and I thought he was going to get smashed for it. And a lot of people are going, nah, you know what? Maybe I might be willing to trade him for Jaylen Brown. We are desperate to try to get through and get to the NBA Finals. So I have to ask whether it might be disrespectful to Donovan Mitchell later on. Him and Jaylen Brown are buddies. I think that Jaylen Brown's time. Everybody thinks that Jaylen Brown's time with the Boston Celtics is finished. He is, yes, cantankerous. He tells the truth the way he sees it. You can agree or disagree. I don't think he's as nuts as what some of the other guys we've seen in basketball before. But if you bring in LeBron has a tendency to get guys to fall in line. I think Donovan has a tendency to get people to fall in line and his friend to fall in line here. Evan Mobley is a sensational basketball player. He is. But Lima asked a very tough question. Do we see us having a better shot with Evan Mobley as the focal point? As of right now, I have to say no. So if I have to say no to that, then to bring in LeBron because something's out there where if James Harden's reworking his contract, maybe the Cavs are trying to work something where, maybe they can just trade Evan Mobley for Jaylen Brown. You got to do some things to make the money work. I understand that, but maybe they're just willing to do that, and that would entice LeBron James to come in. Obviously, that would bring back James Harden. I mean, the starting four seems to be a pipe dream. Now, there will be problems. Fit matters more than ever, but I think it's a deal I'm willing to do.
And listen, it's not...
Excuse me. There's no think. It's a deal I'm willing to do. Yes, I would make that deal.
I think people have to familiarize themselves with the current construct of the NBA, which is you're not getting to perfect. There is no perfect, meaning there's no perfect lineup. Like, you can poke a hole in everything these teams do. By the way, the Knicks are probably going to lose Mitchell Robinson. Like, that's consequential. Isn't that a pretty big deal?
It is.
For them. So
it is.
When I hear people say, well, that's not getting them closer to winning a championship, that's not going to help them get over the hump. Like, nobody thought the Knicks were going to win a championship as recently as a month and a half ago. So, I mean, it just kind of is insane the way people talk about this stuff. As like, you got to remember, what were people saying about the Knicks for a long time? Well, you can't win a championship with a 6-foot guard.
It is a tremendous
with Karl Anthony Towns as your enforcer.
You're right.
In the middle.
You're right. It is a tremendous gamble. And there's certain guys that are just untouchable. Like, I don't think a Knicks fan would even dream of trading away Jalen Brunson. I think there's a couple of teams, like, I don't think a Laker fan obviously would dream of trading away Luka Doncic. Nuggets fans would not dream of trading away Nikola Jokic. The list kind of runs short after those three guys. To bring in LeBron, yeah, you're going to have to give up somebody significant to be able to bring in Jaylen Brown with him and to make that team better. And you said it yourself. Jaylen Brown's a better two-way player now than Evan Mobley, and he'll probably end up being the better two-way player overall over the course of their careers. So if it just improves my chances, like, we are here. This is the time to either put up or shut up here, because it's not about making moves just to make moves. I thought that the first thought I thought when this all got brought up, and I had to test that yesterday afternoon sitting at my desk, and I thought, no, it is a prudent move. It brings back a legend. The legend is still good in spurts. He's not going to be able to do the things he used to be able to do every night. It's not the same player. That much is true. But that's what Jaylen Brown's for as well. And a motivated, angry Jaylen Brown playing with his friend, playing with an icon, playing with a good basketball team can be the difference. Because the Toronto Raptors are better this morning than what they were yesterday, and a lot of people are saying they're better than you. The New York Knicks are still a great basketball team. The Celtics will still be a great basketball team. You reminded me about Indiana. They're going to get Tyrese Halliburton back. They're going to be a much better basketball team than they've been. And Detroit, they haven't made their moves yet. This is going to be a competitive Eastern Conference. A guy like LeBron and Jaylen Brown makes a tremendous difference in this conference.
Mm-hmm. The Pistons did just make a move. John Collins, bringing him in. I do not think that moves the needle to the degree that I think a lot of Pistons fans were looking for in free agency. It's not going to be their only move, but especially if they lose Duren, it's a 3-year, $51 million deal for Collins.
Are you willing to move off Evan Mobley to bring in Jaylen Brown, to bring in LeBron? 216-474-0092. And coming up here in a bit, I think we got some things a little bit confused. It's not that Lima and I want it to happen. We're just willing to accept that it's still not a bad thing for Shedeur and the Browns. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
the road this summer? Get the most live sports talk in Ohio on 92.3 The Fan, or binge our podcast on the Odyssey app.
The Skylar Gray song.
I'm not teared up over that.
When we played that on that Saturday morning, I'm telling you, you could look around. Felt like I had a live studio audience, too. People were tearing up.
You get moved over some of the weirdest things. You know what? I take it all back, because I remember I got emotional when the Browns made the playoffs in 2020. Didn't win the Super Bowl, just that they made the playoffs. It was really Jim saying the only thing missing is all you, and I was like, damn it, I'm choking up now. This is something.
The Houston Texans make the playoffs like every year. And we cried for making the playoffs one time.
And then Kenny called us multiple words for a very long period of time. Is that a weak move by us, Kayla? Or were we weak? Because I got emotional, and then it made Lima emotional.
You were ready to get a tattoo. Do you remember?
I'll still get it. What did I say I was going to get a tattoo for?
If they went to the Super Bowl.
No, there was that. There was something else.
They had a lead in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
No, you asked. There was something else that I said I would get the final scores of the Bengals and the Steelers game this year tattooed on my person if they did something, and I don't remember what the hell it was.
I'm trying to think if there will ever be another moment where I will cry
over sports.
Over sports, not my kids.
I was going to say,
but. Like LeBron's last press conference, if there even is one, like his last press conference.
I'm not crying over that.
Or his last game, him walking off the floor and embracing certain people, like would that? I don't think it would. I think I'm done.
Am I out of tears for LeBron? I never cried over LeBron. I don't think so. What do you mean, Kayla? What are you mouthing in there?
Well, if you didn't have any in the first place, then I would say that you're out.
Well, yeah, no. I mean,
or you're full.
Yeah,
I remember
just waiting.
The day that the announcement happened, everybody just came downtown. There was nothing going on. There was nothing, and we were doing downtown. I remember it was
you guys were taking pictures. I'm like, well, there's nothing for them to do.
There's nothing to do.
I think the Guardians were out of town. The Indians at that time were out of town.
That 2014, I remember it was CNN, it was Fox, it was CBS National. Like I was on the Sunday morning show. All right. It was that crazy. And that day I remember embracing my friend, saw him. We had talked about this, for hours. Like I was in middle school. It was crazy. I remember we hugged. We didn't even say words. We hugged. That's how emotional LeBron coming back. This time it's not like that at all.
No. It would be nice. But I don't think I'd cry. I've been emotional. Got emotional talking about Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah the one day last year. And then that's the last time. Because I felt really terrible.
What about Joe Thomas's retirement?
No, I don't think I did. I mean, I love Joe. We both love Joe, but no, I didn't do that.
What about Hugh Jackson's last day?
No, stop. He tried to make me cry a couple times. Wasn't going to happen. All right, let me get to Sam in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's listening on the free Odyssey app. Hello, Sam.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, Sam. Go ahead, friend.
Hey, wanted to talk about LeBron. When he came back, when he played against Cleveland, what was it, back in February or January, he got really touched. And I think the city of Cleveland has got to reach out in media to try to draw him back, because I really think it's Miami And I'm really thinking maybe New York because he always wanted to play at the Garden. But I think if the city reaches out to him and says, put the title up there, come home, final chapter, that'll touch him again and that could draw him back. Just wanted to share that with you.
I don't even know if it's that much. There were some people speculating yesterday, yes, actually. And Sam, thank you for the call. There were some people speculating yesterday that the way they treated Bronny when the Lakers came here this year was one of the things that made him feel comfortable.
Yeah, I saw that. Remember,
they were very good to him.
Yeah, they were cheering him.
Yeah.
He was in other towns, and the way people talked about Bronny, they were like, all right, Nepo baby, doesn't deserve to be here, is not good enough. And that was not the way he was treated here in Cleveland.
No, he wasn't.
And then all the pictures resurfaced from him as a toddler.
Well, yeah.
At the games. Like, it was pretty cool.
Well, there was the one time, I remember there was the one time in a post game where he was very young in his career, and I think it was when Bronny was first able to walk. I remember Ray Guy was doing the post game. They had just won, and Bronny ran across the floor, and LeBron tapped him on the back because he didn't know where he was, and he ran to LeBron. And so I think I do think an older Cavs fan might remember that. So I can't find it in my heart to be mean-spirited to him. If he was somebody else's son, he may very well have a harder road to get to. But, he could have been a lot of things, and you do got to work to be a decent basketball player and a good enough basketball player to end up in the NBA. They didn't just Jeffrey Jordan didn't just get handed a role in the NBA, did he? He did not get a roster. I know he played at Illinois, but I don't think he got a roster spot, did he not? I don't think that happened with Jeffrey Jordan.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. What about Magic Johnson's kids?
I don't know very much about Magic Johnson's kids, but I don't think that really happened with. I can only think of Michael, and that didn't really happen with him. I want to hear from Field Yates here because we can't go a day without talking about this situation.
I think it's irresponsible for us to have gone this long.
It's true.
Without doing this.
There are people going, finally, we're going to get to the Browns.
Unless you have any...
There are people who hate hearing about LeBron.
If you have any Sorsby stuff.
It's the end of the line on Brendan Sorsby conversation, Tone.
Have we extracted? We wrung out every last bit of Sorsby?
Hold on. Let me get the mic and Stowe. Hey, Mike, can I ask you a question? I know you want to talk about something else. I'm going to throw it at you. Here we go. You ready for this?
I'll talk about anything you want.
All right.
Ken.
Thank you very much, Mike. If the Browns are taking a quarterback, what % chance do you believe in your heart if the Browns are taking a quarterback in 2027, it's in the first round?
I'd say 75%.
That's a very strong answer there. So let me ask you another question here. What are the chances that Brendan Sorsby ends up in the first round in next year's regular draft?
So considering that there's 5, I would consider right now, but the season's got to be played. Things happen.
Yeah.
The goals right now, though, so you're asking me, I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say 50% chance he sneaks in at the end of the first round.
50% chance. Wow.
Yeah,
you got the 5, and you said 5. I thought you were going to say 5%. Okay, well, then maybe we are talking about Brendan Sorsby, because I think that this is the end of the road, man. I got to tell you, because if we're taking a quarterback next year, we're taking him in the first round. I don't think he's a first-round quarterback next year. Unless this class flops like the 2026 class did. And you're right, they got to play the season. There were plenty of guys we thought were going to be first-rounders last year. I'm not going to call this draft generational, but it does seem to be there's going to be 5 guys taken in the first round. If the Browns are taking one of those guys, Brendan Sorsby ain't one of them names. So in this city, it might be general interest, but in this city, I think the conversation about Brendan Sorsby is done.
It is in this city, I think, and it should be. We just don't need to go there. We already have enough trouble, having bad things happen for us, and I'm not one of these believing bad things all the time. It is what it is. You choose your own fate usually. Of course. But, hey, we don't need any extra problems, potential. Let's just keep it. There's plenty of other options that we don't have to go here.
Exactly.
You only go there when you're forced to go there.
Well, yeah.
We're not forced to go there at all, Ken.
Exactly. And Mike, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate you playing along with us there because I had to lead it to this. Field Yates, I know a lot of people roll their eyes at this. Field Yates on ESPN, he said the Browns have the most legitimate quarterback competition in all the NFL.
He was the least likely quarterback in the NFL to complete a pass at or beyond the line of scrimmage last year. His completion percentage well under expectation on those throws, posting the second worst CPOE in the league. He was inaccurate on more than 1 of every 5 attempts. So, Field, Sanders is in a quarterback competition with Deshaun Watson for the starting job. Who do you think gives them the best chance to win?
Well, I lean toward Shedeur Sanders, because we've seen him play most recently. What I would say, though, is this is the truest quarterback competition in the NFL. What I mean by that is whoever performs best in training camp should be the week 1 starter. There are other quarterback competitions where if you have a young quarterback and he narrowly outperforms the veteran quarterback in training camp, I still would lean on the veteran early in the season to alleviate some of the pressure on a young player. In Cleveland, whether it's Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, maybe even Dylan Gabriel, whichever one performs best in training camp should be on the field for that opening week.
John left that beginning in there on purpose, apparently. Wow, what a setup.
I'm sure that was a great clip.
Audio courtesy ESPN.
I was totally distracted by the amazing riffing that was going on.
Sometimes, yeah, you need that. Did it not accentuate the point?
It did.
You need a montage sometimes.
Yeah, what you guys say I am anti-Shedeur. Go after that woman. Holy cow.
I think that was Laura Rutledge.
No, come on.
Well, she was just reading the stats. She's not sitting there arguing against a guy like you do every day.
She would never go that far in denigrating one football player. Even I don't go that far.
That's not denigrating. She was giving the stats.
Those were real numbers? He was that bad?
Well, it's ESPN. I don't think it was fake numbers.
Do you want to play the start of that again? I want to hear how bad those...
Why are you playing the start of it again?
Those were bad stats. Those were not
real. Now
real.
You're putting it on Kayla to play the start of it again.
She had to have made those up.
He was the least likely quarterback in the NFL to complete a pass at or beyond the line of scrimmage last year.
Come on.
His completion percentage well under expectation on those throws, posting the second worst CPOE in the league.
That can't be.
He was inaccurate on more than 1 of every 5 attempts.
I don't believe it.
Sanders is in a quarterback competition with Deshaun Watson for the starting job. Who do you think gives them the best chance to win?
Was leading the witness. All right,
that's
that was leading the witness.
John, is John up there?
Yes, Ken.
You did that on purpose. You knew Lima was going to get worked up, didn't you?
That's fine. Absolutely right.
That's fine.
That's
what good producers
do. That was uncalled for.
Lima did not know this was happening.
She did not have to start that clip about a fair and balanced quarterback competition with all the negatives on Shedeur. And I don't even know if those are real numbers. Are those real numbers?
I would imagine
she
so.
said it on the news on ESPN.
I mean, I've referenced some numbers.
Why wouldn't those
before.
be real numbers?
I just that seemed to be very slanted negatively because those were all bad numbers.
Well, they weren't positive.
Why didn't she go with the good numbers, like the dubs, like the big wins?
Well, maybe she said it later. I don't know.
Why didn't she talk about the Tennessee throws?
Well, did not go where I was hoping to take it.
He had those 2 good throws. Why didn't she? And the scrambles. You saw the scrambles. Put the scrambles in there. He was doing the scrambles.
That is between you and ESPN.
I don't like that. Shedeur fans, I understand where the hate has been coming from for the media because that is ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
That is unfair. You know what? I've gone after the Shedeur fans for playing the victim card too much. He's the victim, and this was a one-sided takedown.
Can
and
I
think
actually
they need
get to something of substance in 5 minutes?
I want a
those
correction or I want an apology, and you have to the end of this business day.
Can I get to something more of substance in 5 minutes?
I mean, what if Dion heard that?
He
should refuse to go on with ESPN. I'm with you guys. That's ridiculous.
Would you stop being sarcastic for a second and speak about it legitimately? No, you're not going to do that for me?
That's beyond the pale.
Okay. All right. In 5 minutes. It's not what we want to happen, but it's still not a bad thing for Shedeur and the Browns. Am I going to get serious commentary out of you, or are you just going to do the whole thing going after? I thought it was Laura Rutledge. I'm not sure who exactly it was. You know what? Are you going to go after the ESPN anchor, or are you going to give me some serious analysis here to end the show?
We'll go serious. That's just going to rub me the wrong way the rest of the day.
You are an ass. A true craftsman of what you do to get people spun up. This is Slippery Wizard 101.
Sponsored by...
that announcement by now. I think it's a real competition. I think it's close. And so why would you look to trade a guy that I think should be your starter? Because there is a chance, whatever that chance might be, that he can be your quarterback of the future.
Listen for Scott Petrak from the Chronicle Telegram Monday mornings at 11 on Cleveland's Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan.
Can we have the conversation without it devolving into garbage?
Yeah, that's what this show needs.
You will devolve it into garbage, I'm sure.
Are you guys just going to do Homer Radio every single day here?
Somebody said that you have dolphin teeth in the YouTube.
Yeah.
And you look like Jimmy Neutron to somebody.
The comment said, we read you guys.
I haven't looked at it in months.
Oh, it's
Lima
beautiful.
Looked it up right after the break, and the first thing he read, Lima has dolphin teeth.
These guys think I hate them. I love them. They are so much fun.
He does love you. He really does.
And by the way, always take your calls. Sometimes we feel bad when you have to wait a long time, but we always take your calls.
No, there's two guys that say we don't. Jovan in San Antonio and Marcus in the Bay Area. Is it Marcus?
They're great callers.
It's Maurice. Put some respect on his name.
Shut up, John.
He's so nice to me every day. He calls
congratulations.
In, so nice.
He's nice to you. So I messed up his name. It's been a long show. John over there yelling, I was Mr. New Jersey when it came to high school baseball. I mean, what the hell? 216-474-0092. Throwing out the number. You want to get to Mike in Wellington?
Absolutely.
What the hell? Mike, hello.
Hi. Guys, I was listening. I'm out driving. It's a sunny day. A woman from ESPN comes on and she quotes accurate numbers. At first, I'm surprised that Anthony in his position doesn't know they're accurate numbers. And then he defends and says, but what about those two good throws? And I thought to myself, oh, my God, what's next? He made the Pro Bowl? This is as bad as the quarterback situation is here. I kind of wish that we'd have gotten that guy in the supplemental draft, because then we could have used our 2 first-round draft choices to maybe get a receiver out of Ohio State and somebody else for the defensive line. I'm not excited about either one of those guys winning. I don't think we've got a real NFL quarterback on the team yet.
Mike, I understand you're being facetious about Lima's sarcasm.
I am.
Before, but funny how you put it.
Oh, wait, but it was funny to hear. But what about those 2 good throws? What about the other 29?
Wait, now hold on. Okay, so which quarterback would you rather see here, Mike?
Yeah, what do you want to see, Dylan Gabriel?
Well, here's it. No, truthfully, Shador. Yeah, because I'll be honest with you. I quit my season tickets. I sold my season tickets when they traded for Deshaun Watson. I said, you're going to pay him a lot of money for who he is and what he's done, and none of it's going to be mine.
See, I do think that that's the difference. Now, I don't know if that should be such a selling. If it were Kevin still as the head coach, I think it might be a selling point, Mike, and thank you for the call. New coach, it can't be a selling point. Like, I heard Spencer yesterday bring up the sales job to the fans of which quarterback starts. I don't think Todd Monken can really worry himself with that, because I sit there and I think, what really is going to sell? Now, I don't think Shador is making anybody give up their season tickets. I don't think he's making anybody buy season tickets. But when Spencer brings up, well, how are you going to sell this to the fans? What can you really sell to the fans this year? The sales job to the fans is 2027.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
the sale. You get to see Jared Verse. I can't guarantee. I mean, we'll have Mary Kay on it tomorrow at 8:20. And I got to tell you, like, are we trending towards Ward not being here at the beginning of the season? Is it a foregone conclusion? Lima says it is. So I no longer have Denzel Ward. I no longer have Myles Garrett. Now, I do believe that I would go to a football game to see Grant Delpit. I think a lot of you guys are laughing into your steering wheel right now as I say that, but I'm a football guy, and I really like Grant Delpit. He's a really good football player. But there's not a real big sales job. So if there's not a big sales job there, well, then may the best quarterback win. Now, I'd rather see Shador Sanders, but it was weird because Jonathan said something, and I don't think it was actually a shot at us the more I think about it, but what's best for Shador? And Jonathan became a little bit verklempt over it. Here's Jonathan on what's quote-unquote best for Shador.
If you start Shedeur and then he struggles, where are you going? You know, like, yeah, you go to Deshaun.
What's the end of Shedeur in your Browns uniform?
Nobody's happy about that. If you start with Deshaun and he struggles, then it's easier to set up like the guy that represents hope for your organization and be able to then sell that to people as like, hey.
By the way, I only point that out. It's not something I endorse in any sort of way. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world, the people that are like, it's better for Shedeur to come out of the gate second. No, it's not. It's better for him to start the whole season is what it's better for him to do. Start week 1 and don't lose the job and play 17 games. It's been, since Baker Mayfield, it's been a long time since we've had a quarterback play 17 games in a Browns uniform.
In a perfect world, I'm 100% in the same camp as you, where it's like just start Shedeur and have him play all season, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? Like, just live with the results. We all kind of, maybe not, I think most people understand what the season's really about, and that it's kind of about setting the stage for 2027 to find whatever quarterback, if you don't have one that you need. So I'd rather see that than waste any time with Deshaun. But I also can understand the logic behind it's easier to go to maybe the young guy rather than go back to the veteran that nobody really wants to see anyway.
I don't think it's about what's best for Shedeur as opposed to what's acceptable. What's best for Shedeur is that he doesn't play just this season. He plays the next 15 years.
That'd be amazing.
And he goes to multiple, whatever Pro Bowls count for anymore. He's multiple time NFL top 100. Multiple time over. That's what should be the best for Shedeur.
We agree with Jonathan then.
It's about what's acceptable. And I don't think it's the end-all, be-all if he ends up not starting. And I would definitely keep him. You might, by the time you end up having your first home game in week 3, Shedeur may very well be the starter. I don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to do. I don't think it has to be a bad thing. It's not what's best for Shedeur, certainly. But it's not such a bad thing. And then the sales job to the fans is like, what are you going to do? Chuck in Brunswick, real quick. Go ahead.
Chuck.
Yo, what's up?
What's going
I got
on?
a question, man.
Yeah.
You know, my wife called you a big teddy bear, Ken. She loves you. But anyway, I want to know, I know your girl got took back in school and got took to the woodshop room. I remember that, bro, when you said that.
Oh,
did you cry then?
No, I didn't. I did not cry. I was more embarrassed than Cooper Ingle, though. Thank you, Chuck. That's a memory.
That's pretty good.
So gritty.
Do you know about that, Kayla?
It sounds familiar, but it's been so long for me.
I only attended one high school dance, and at that high school dance, the person I was with might have rekindled their love for a previous boyfriend in the wood shop. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day as I regale you with stories of my embarrassment. Which is worse, Cooper Ingle throwing the ball over the net or that happening at the high school dance? Like, that might be actually worse than Carrie. Have a wonderful day, friends. Hey.